Oh no. Let me close my blind. You watching the World Fitness Project right now?
Good morning. Yesterday morning when I woke up, I was, but I'm on. Where are you? I'm on Pacific Standard Time. I'm in California. Where are you?
Oh, nice. I'm Central San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, okay, so it's a little early for me. But yesterday I caught some. Yesterday I got up at 5 and tried to catch some.
Oh wow.
Hey, before we dig in, there was one thing that caught my eye.
Yeah.
That kind of blew me away. And I just want to ask you about it before we start.
Okay.
This is posted on your Instagram 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. Let me see. Yes, it's serious. How deep is this corruption in real life? My very own trained man. I remain incredibly blessed with this.
I'll read it out loud. Is it cool if I read it out loud so the viewers
Yeah,
can hear?
of course.
Okay, so this looks like it's a text to you. Is that correct?
I'm trying to figure out which one this was. So I posted this. I don't know if I had anything to do with all that was happening, but right now I'll tell you, man, woman. Oh yeah. That's my therapist. Yeah, that's
Okay.
crazy. That's freaking crazy, huh?
So this is a text from your therapist to you, and it says, "I don't know if it had anything to do with all that was happening, but right after I saw you, Lance, a man and a woman came to my office, military people, and threatened me. I'm not sure if it was related, but they said I was helping people and something bad will happen to my family. About a month later, my son was killed. It looked like a hate crime, but I sensed there was more to it. I'm glad you overcame this. God prevails, and their reign of terror is about to end." This is your therapist suggesting that your story is so inflammatory that they're trying to intimidate people around you who are helping you?
Yeah, absolutely. Her life's in peril right there. It shows. And the fact that it happened right after she saw me in San Antonio, Texas, also, like I just recently moved here again a couple months ago. So this was in 2023 also. Yeah, this is the kind of evidence that I have against him, and still nothing is being done because it's all swept under the rug and everyone's protecting everybody. That's the egregiousness of all of this.
So this was sent in what year was this text sent to you?
That was no, that text was recent, but
Yeah.
that incident was around September 2023.
What incident?
That right there, the of them going to her office,
Oh.
threatening her with what she stated there. But she said they weren't in military uniform, so she doesn't know if it was related or not. But let's say it wasn't, hypothetically, that's still pretty serious. That all she's doing is being truthful for these sessions of hers, and military personnel are threatening her. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Is she
Really.
in the military? Is your therapist in the military?
No. She's a civilian.
So have you this is just what the way she says it is so casual. I would be like, when I read this, my heart rate accelerated because I have
Oh,
three kids, you know what I mean? And
right.
I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit,
Yeah. I
this is
know. It's serious. She moved to North Carolina, I believe, because of that incident too. Like because of that encounter. So yeah, not as of right now, nothing's being done. But once one of my complaints or anything gets like your podcast is helping me a lot as well. But once this gets brought to light, I guess, of anyone of higher rank, like the Secretary of the Air Force can look into it, Pete Hegseth or SecDef, or even to Trump's level, like this will open the floodgates up to all my allegations towards them that I have tons of evidence on and proof on.
God, this is an insane story. Okay, I want to go back. So sorry. What state are you in now? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, you are in San Antonio. Okay.
Yeah.
And where were you born, Lance?
I was born on Clark Air Force Base, Philippines, Angeles City, Philippines.
So you're second generation Air Forceman, airman?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, my dad was in the Marines, and then he transferred to Air Force. So still, yes.
Wow. And did you get into the military because your dad was in it?
I did. Yeah. Yeah. My sons, I have two sons. One's almost 3, he's 2.5, and the other one is 9 months. But as of right now, like they're not going to join the military at all. This is a new type of military at this point. and there's no way. There's got to be a better. I mean, there is a better future for sure. And serving right now is not that.
And Lance, this is Caleb. Caleb, Lance, Caleb.
Hi, Caleb. How you doing?
Hey, nice to meet you, Lance.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
And Lance, have you and I ever met in person?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. But we've been in the same room probably a bunch of times.
Right, yeah. I think I remember you at regionals and you interviewing athletes, but that was a while ago. So, yeah.
Okay. And so Clark Air Force Base, sorry, and what state was that in?
That's in Angeles City, Philippines.
Oh, Philippines. Wow.
Yeah.
And how long did you grow up in the Philippines?
Not long at all. It was probably like, I don't know, 8 months. And then we moved to Okinawa, Japan, where Medina Air Force Base is at, and then to Guam, and then to Sacramento, California, and then to San Antonio, Texas.
And how old were you when you finally? How was there anywhere you stayed up where you did most of like your elementary, junior high, high school years? Was there any one place?
That'd be in Castroville, Texas, which is about 10 miles west, Highway 90 to off of San Antonio.
And what did you do there? Did you do elementary school there, junior high, and high school? All of them?
Yeah, no, fifth grade and up. Yeah.
And did you play sports and stuff? Were you an active kid?
Yeah, I did karate actually. Got my black belt in that. But man, I learned what jujitsu is after karate and all that stuff. And man, I should have went jujitsu, because yeah, it's way more lethal for sure. But yeah, I played basketball as well and a lot of breakdancing.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. What's funny is my kids are in gymnastics and the breakdancing piece is huge. Like when I watch them on the mushroom or trying to do the pommel horse, man, breakdancing's crazy. Breakdancing is insane.
Yeah, the pommel horse is called flares on the ground for breakdancing. But yeah, it all leads to that. From that, I mean, yeah.
And did you play basketball in high school? Were you good?
No, it was more street ball is what I meant. Like just and 1 3-on-3 competitions. I was decent, I would say. I was more into the dribbling aspects of it, and the fancy moves and all that.
Yep.
Not like officially for the school or anything. No.
And you did that, and then when you finished high school, is that right when you entered the military? Because you're young still. How old are you?
No, I'm 39 right now, actually.
Yeah, you're pretty young. Yeah. You look even younger.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I already have 20 plus years in the military, active duty. And I mean, we'll get into it for sure, but I'm in the whole appeals process. So if my appeal turns out to be successful, by then I'll have 21 years active duty and can retire off into the sunset, that whole ordeal. Okay,
so you graduate from high school. You're in that was in Castroville, Texas.
Yeah.
And how long before you entered the Air Force?
Less than a year. I was still 18 and I joined in 2005, May 2005.
And you entered straight into the Air Force.
Yeah.
And what was that? And what was that like? Have you ever been deployed? Have you gone to any of these conflicts or hot areas that we have here going on?
Not hot areas, no. But I've been deployed twice. Once to Al Udeid Air Base, which is right next to Doha, Qatar. Some people call it Qatar. And then the other one in 2018 was to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Escon Air Base. And those were just logistics gigs. So when I joined the Air Force and after basic training, first of all, basic training sucked. And it's not that it was hard or grueling. It was just, obviously they strip you of your freedom. And I didn't realize it, but I'm against that. And I've been to prison twice now. Actually, I've been to 4 different prisons from all brigs, prisons, jails, whatever you want to call it, from all my whole court-martial crap. I've been through 2 court-martials. And I've always thought while in there, like, basic training sucks more, I would think, or it's somewhat equivalent to it. It's just all the strict rules and the stripping of your freedom. Yeah, so I didn't enjoy it at all.
You're saying you didn't enjoy it, but is it necessary to do that so you can get all the boys on the same team?
Yeah, I would say so, especially the generations today. I can't even imagine someone fresh out of high school today in 2025, 2026 going straight into basic, they need to strip you of that. So I agree with you. Yeah, I would think it's necessary.
And did they eventually get you on board? So when you say strip you of your freedoms, what do you mean? strip you
Well,
of
the
your
fact,
freedom.
yeah, that was 20 years ago. So, I mean, like, you don't have your phones. You're being told when to go to sleep, when to eat. Like, you have no free time on your own accord. From when I went through it, like that, you can't do anything. You cannot do a damn thing without supervision, other than sleep. When it's time to sleep, I mean, that's it.
And so when you went in there, did you think, and you saw, oh, this is going to be the hardest part for me, the stripping of the freedoms? Did you ever think about getting out right away, thinking, oh, this
Oh,
isn't for me? No.
no, never, never.
And did it
And
add any value to your life, like give you discipline or make you understand one team, one?
yeah, it ended up providing value for sure. That's when I got into CrossFit. Well, not during that time, but when CrossFit came into my life, that's, yeah, the discipline aspect of CrossFit and competitions and all that stuff, and suffering, and all that. I think it contributed for sure. All that stuff in the past.
And how did you find CrossFit, and what year was that?
Yeah, so CrossFit I found in 2012, and I was dating this girl, and she was into CrossFit, and I heard of CrossFit by then, and I just thought it was a joke, soccer mom stuff like everyone thought back then. And for a date, before we went out to dinner, we went to a CrossFit class because I wanted to, give her a good time, and I ended up like falling in love with CrossFit. Her and I ended up not working out, which was fine. We were just in the dating scene. But like I started going to CrossFit Albuquerque, actually, when I was stationed in New Mexico at that time. And just all the different workouts every single day, the camaraderie of all your friends, and the competition aspect of it too. The competitive side of it was really appealing to me. And yeah, that's how I got into it, really. All from a girl, trying to impress a girl, really.
Yeah, that's everything. Every great thing a man has done is because of that. And you would leave the base in New Mexico to go to the affiliate,
Yeah.
and you would do that as much as you could.
Yeah, 2012 to 2018, before one of my deployments, that was my life, like training. I did the open in 2013 for the first time, and I missed regionals by like 9 spots, and I didn't even know what regionals was. So anyway, by the time 2014 came, I was damn ready for the open, and I got 9th, I think, in the Southwest back then, and went to my first regionals and got 10th. And then from there, it was just like an addiction, a healthy addiction, because I was so into the clubbing scene also. But the more you club, the more you drink, the more you go out, you're gonna suffer for it the next day, and then probably 2 days of training. So obviously, I started to realize, don't go out on a Friday night, get some good sleep, eat healthy, so I could hit it hard in the morning on a Saturday morning. And that, like I said, that just became my life. And then I ended up dating some girl also that we started to train together. She went to regionals as well, and then it was just her and I just training hard, trying to go to regionals every year until regional stopped in 2019. I think that's because the whole COVID stuff was going on. Yeah, and it started turning into like a national open, and then you qualify to the games. I'm sure you know more about that. With all the interviews you've done at the games. But then, yeah, I forgot your question, but
And Lance, you did great. You did great. You won I think you won a heat in 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. When you were on the floor, you would, every year at the regionals, there would be at least one event where you would win your heat.
yeah. Well, I think those were handstand walks. Whenever a handstand walk pops up, yeah. Oh yeah. This one, yeah. This had a handstand walk in it too. But now everyone's a beast in handstand. Everyone's a beast at everything now. Get into a sanctional event, I can't even imagine the level of competition it'd be now. But yeah, everyone's good at everything now. Would you agree to that?
It's crazy. The level of fitness is
Yeah,
bonkers.
like a 295 snatch is common now in a local competition. Like what? That's nuts.
Lance, I'm going to go back to what you were saying about how you didn't like your freedoms being taken away. When you enter the military, don't you sign some paperwork? Like, as a military personnel, you don't have the same constitutional rights as civilians. Something happens to you, right? Like you become a property of the nation or something. Is there something like that?
Yeah, no, that's the perception.
Mhm.
Also, you probably have limited. I'd say you have limited rights, but you definitely still have all. You definitely have the majority of your rights, especially the big ones, like your freedoms of speech, freedoms of religion. Obviously, they can't take that from you. Actually, since I mentioned freedoms of speech, I should have said before we started, well, which is still fine, but these are my views and my views alone, not the views of the DoD or Air Force. There, now I'm protected. Now I'm going to name drop everyone I can once we get into this stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually have it on here. Remind Lance to do his disclaimer. I forgot to tell you.
There we go. All my views here and opinions, of course. But yeah, a lot of people think that, especially when the whole vaccine came out, they think, I don't know, man. The people that got it, I think it's easy for them just to state that I'm government property. You know, I was doing what I'm ordered. But that would also mean that if they ordered you to walk off a cliff and kill yourself, then you would have to do that. Like, what line drawn, you know, with orders? And it's obviously unlawful orders. And most people that don't know what's lawful and what's not unlawful, they're going to just do it because they don't want any confrontation or commotion with their chain of command. And naturally for me, and thankfully, I like controversy. You know, I excel with confrontation. I'm competitive, not just in CrossFit, but with anything, with winning, really anything, you know.
So you get in 2005, 2012, you find CrossFit. And when do you, in that time between 2005 and 2018, do you have any like official issues with any of your command? Like, do any of your problems, or are you able to work on that and just be like, yes, sir, no, sir?
I had one issue, and this is in 2008, and I should bring this up super quickly. I had an Article 15 in 2008, which was how many, 18 years ago at this point. So one of my master sergeants, and I was 19 or 20 at the time, he asked me if I could help his troops, his subordinates, you know, his subordinate, his troops, whatever, if I could falsify their PT test score so they could move to Germany, PCS to Germany. And again, you know, I was being asked that. I didn't think it was a big deal. Everyone does that. Not that that was an okay excuse, but I owned up to it. I did it. I was a PTL, physical training leader, and instead of their runtime being like a 15-minute mile and a half, I did a favor for my master sergeant and for his troops. Two of them, I put their time as like 10 minutes or 11 minutes. I don't remember really, but
not even something reasonable. Like 12, 30, like you're gonna give him a 10-minute mile and a half? That's crazy, dog.
Well, whatever it was, you know, 12 minutes. But I helped them pass when they shouldn't have passed, and then due to that, they got PCS orders off to Germany. But again, like that was wrong of me. I've admitted it. I've got punishment for that. It was 14 days extra duty. We were working 12-hour days throughout the weekend, not a big deal. And then I had a rank suspension, not a actual reduction, which means if I would have messed up within that 6 month suspension time frame, then I would have had a rank demotion. But I say that also because my commander, like you fast forward 15 years later, he tries to use all this stuff back then too, saying that I had 2 rank demotions at the time, one from him. Like there's so much lies and deceit that evolved from that. And the guy who gave me that, he was a flight commander, Captain Barry Roche. He turns into the colonel who aids my squadron commander, Lieutenant Colonel Enrique Vasquez, with the whole first arrest. With that, like he's now the group commander of Cannon Air Force Base. Like, what are the chances of that? When I was at Albuquerque, Kirtland Air Force Base. Oh no, so yeah, no, Oklahoma. This was Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City. But that's crazy that Colonel Barry Roche is back, you know, in the paperwork and everything. But
Let me go back a little bit, because it's a lot. So your master sergeant asked you to change the times, and you're saying that happened all the time. When you say that happened all the time, how do you know that? Because you would witness other people doing it.
right, I was a PTO. And
What's
first of all,
PTO?
Physical training leader back then.
Okay.
And you have to be selected and be fit yourself, you know, and know how to. It's pretty much coaching. You have to know how to coach. It's like a level 1 CrossFit certificate in the Air Force, I guess. And yeah, there's only like 4 of us within the squadron, and you know, you hook up your friends and all that stuff. Not saying it's a good thing to do. Obviously, I got caught and I fessed up to it. When I got caught,
did your superior get in trouble too for asking you to do it?
No, and that's fine. I'm all over it. But I was called into the flight commander's office. I was read my rights, and I was like, "What the heck?" I was like terrified that was something else. I shouldn't disclose what I probably would have thought that was, but it wasn't that. So no, I read my rights and I owned up to it immediately, you know. And I do remember talking to my master sergeant at the time, and he's like, just deny it, man. Deny. Like, they can't prove it. It will be just your word against these troops, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, man, I did it. It's fine. I didn't know how much in trouble I'd get, actually.
Because that's
But
just something that's written on a paper, and then you just document that in the system, right? Like that paper gets destroyed after the fact, after you've. So, like, you could have you said, fuck it.
Right.
I didn't do that. Yeah.
So some of the other soldiers snitched on you because they knew, oh, I beat that guy's time. That can't be right. So they went and snitched on you. Is that what happened?
That's essentially it, yeah. But from that point forward, and that was in 2008, and I wrote a nice rebuttal for it of why I did it. I owned up to it. I've never had, obviously, ever again, a falsified allegation. Like, I learned from it. And my rebuttal, which starts to become abundant after the COVID mandate and all that stuff that we'll get into, they leave that rebuttal out. Like, so they put that Article 15 to make me look like a criminal back then. Like, look at this trend, you know, because that's the only piece of paper ever that exists of doing something wrong. From 18 years ago, it's crazy that they even use that. And they take out my rebuttal. Like, it's first of all unlawful to do that. I read in the AFI's Air Force instructions that a rebuttal has to be provided with any disciplinary action that I wrote or the member wrote, and they take that out. So I had to dig for that, and I found it, and I made sure to include it in every rebuttal that I've submitted since then. But yeah, this is we'll get into that aspect of it.
By the way, I appreciate you after you use that acronym AFI telling us what it is, because although Caleb knows, I don't know any of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So other than that, 2005 to 2018, just cruising along as a young man, you hooked some of your friends up with a mile time. You got your hand slapped for that. Other than that, all good.
All good, even better than all good, because in 2013, when I started to excel in CrossFit, all my EPRs and evaluations had that included into it. And obviously, I was like the only one in there on the base trying to compete in these high-level competitions like Wodipalooza and all that stuff, other than regionals. And that would be in my evaluations, you know, and I became a CrossFit level 1 coach and instructor. So not only that, 2017 came around, and I was trying to cross-train back into pararescue, which I was in originally, the whole pipeline. And then the commander of Kirtland, the squadron that I was in, he actually wrote me a very nice letter of recommendation. So I found that too recently. I forgot about that completely, but that would have been great to rebut all the crap that my command started trying to throw at me in 2020, 21, 22. They're trying to make me look like a criminal. Obviously, you can't be with a letter of recommendation endorsed by the commander himself. Yeah, so like I said, not only because he said kosher, riding the line. Nah, I think I was excelling until the whole COVID crap came out and all that.
So in terms of troop readiness for their physical fitness, you were a leader, an inspiration, and a role model for sure. No one could deny that.
I would definitely think that. I'd rather have my troops explain that more so for me, to not gloat, but I definitely would agree to that statement. Yeah.
You took your readiness very seriously.
Yeah, I did, because it was fun. It was fun. Yeah. That's why. If not for CrossFit being fun, I would not do CrossFit. That's the only number one reason. It's fun. It breaks up the monotonous of regular Air Force crappy physical training. No one in the Air Force likes PT because it's boring. It's extremely boring. It's always like 5 or 6 in the morning in the cold now. No one wants to wake up for running around the track for 3 laps and then doing 100 crunches. You know, that's not.
Everybody just plays ultimate frisbee or ultimate football now.
Yeah,
like actual PT.
That's true too.
Caleb was in the Air Force. Caleb is in the Air Force.
Yeah, still am.
Oh, cool. Where are you at?
I'm in the Guard. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty.
What year are you doing?
18, 19.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
How are you liking it?
What's that mean? What year are you doing?
What year did you join the Air Force?
I joined in 2019. I started as a med tech, which was not fun, like a 4N, where you just, I don't know. I ended up in allergy and immunizations, so giving shots all the time. and then I cross-trained to EOD when I transferred to the Guard. So now I'm a bomb tech, which is way more fun.
Yeah, Savon, he said 4N. That's his AFSC, was an MOS, kind of like an Army, your career field essentially. But I know 4N because I did the whole paramedic course in pararescue, and we had tons of 4Ns that joined our classes just for the whole 1-year paramedic course.
Yeah,
that was cool. Yeah, nice.
And so 2018, 2019, do you remember the first time you ever heard about COVID?
Yeah, actually. And that's when Kamala Harris said that under the Trump administration, or if Trump would get reelected and mandate COVID, if you were to, she would in no way get that. And that's
I remember that. A lot of the Dems were saying that there's no way we're taking the Trump shot.
Right. Exactly. Right. And then Biden gets in, and then they all mandate it. It just makes no sense. And that stuck. That was one of the biggest reasons why I was like, wait a second, this makes no sense. My little ticker started going off, my discernment. And yeah, again, whatever timeline you want to get into, but that's one of the main reasons too. Just the like the contradictions behind it. Contradictions are lies. Contradiction is like a euphemism of a lie. This guy contradicted himself in court under oath. It doesn't sound harmful at all, but if you were to say he lied under oath in his testimony, that's substantially way more significant. Contradictions kill me at this point, because I'm on a hunt every day, over 1,000 pages of testimony to find contradictions. I've even gotten into Grok 4, which is a $300 a month subscription, and I'm like putting all my testimonies in there from my court-martials, both of them, from over 15, 16 witnesses, and I tell Grok, find me significant contradictions, so I can.
Wow.
Yeah, and it finds it. It's great. I obviously have to review it. It has minor errors, but I just started it here this month, December 1st. So I upped my game big time with all the congressional inquiry complaints I'm about to submit. More DOD IG complaints, Secretary of the Air Force IG complaints, and AFSOC complaints, really. But IG complaints aren't the way to go. They all sweep it under the rug to protect.
What's IG stand for?
Inspector General.
Okay.
Yeah. But just because they tell me, it's the first of all, someone who would even do an IG complaint, I would think is minimal. Let's just say out of 100 people who has had an issue with their command, let's say 10 people do an IG complaint. So it's
Can you give me an example of an IG complaint? Just like just give me an example.
Yeah, it could be a supervisor inappropriately touching his female subordinate.
Okay.
Under the table. It could be them giving them an unlawful order on the weekend, like, hey, come to my house and wash my vehicle, and they can't do that. It could be anything like that. It could be anything you think of, really, that you deem unlawful or that you think would be unlawful. So out of that hypothetical scenario, let's say 10 out of 100 did an IG complaint. They're going to sweep this under the rug unless it's so flagrant. Like I have in recording this commander stating in a one-party consent or a two-party consent state to a supervisor or to a subordinate that he's going to kill this person, and I have stone cold evidence. That's when they would, investigate it. If you don't have evidence like that, they're going to sweep it under the rug. And I've done 47 now. And I know that number because I just talked to one of the point of contacts, and she told me, you have 46 complaints. You realize that, right? In a condescending tone as well. Like I'm just
complaints you've made towards your command. Okay.
Yeah. That I'm just shotgunning complaints at this point, and they don't even look into it, and I have all my complaints, all the results that's going to be used. Like eventually one day, I don't know if it's going to be a month from now or a year from now or a week from now, the shit's going to hit the fan, excuse my cussing here. And it's all going to come to light. And once that happens, all my complaints that were denied are going to be going to be investigated and scrutinized. Like, why was this complaint denied? What evidence was investigated? And the evidence that I have that I hope we get into here soon, it's going to blow your mind. I honestly I think it's dead to rights evidence. I have such evidence on them because back then I secretly audio record too. Again, we'll get into that. But I have audio recordings of all this corruption going on.
I saw them on your YouTube channel. I tried to listen. I listened to about a half dozen of them. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's some nut stuff. And back to my scenario real fast. Let's say out of those 10, out of 100 that submitted IG complaints, let's say one gets investigated or looked at, just one. Yeah, there you go. And let's just say that one went through. Well, that's a 1% chance that they'll even in good faith, investigate a complaint.
Why wasn't the complaint against you swept under the rug in 2008? Why? It seems like a pretty minor infraction. If they really are sweeping them under the rug as much as you're saying, which I believe you.
No. Swept under the rug to protect the command, not to protect the members of the squadron. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they needed to make an example out of me. Again, I own up to that. I've never done that again, you know. Yeah, and I've never done that again, but I want to be transparent and honest here that did happen, especially to my records now. Yeah. And like I said,
so it's 2019, the presidential election, the campaigning's going on. You're hearing the challengers, Kamala and Joe and their team saying we'll never take the vaccine if Trump's elected. And then tell me about the rumblings in the military. When's the first time you hear that you guys are going to have to take the injection, the COVID vaccine injection?
So March 2020 is what around that time frame for sure is when the whole masks started coming out. Everyone's wearing masks and 6 feet distancing. And I think from what I remember as well, the COVID vaccine was available volunteer wise. So people were even getting it on their own, especially in the civilian side as well. So I didn't think nothing of it. And I didn't care about the mask aspect. I really didn't care because you didn't have to shave. You know, like every other 3 days I'd shave at that point, which was great. It was a nice little break, especially with how they're cutting down, or not cutting down. They're cutting down on the shaving waivers now in the Air Force. It's crazy. Yeah, you see, he's happy.
Yeah, I have one that was like for 5 years or whatever, and then they're like, well, we're gonna kick you out, and I'm like, well, c'est la vie.
Yeah, and shaving every day sucks. So that was nice. To have a mask and then go to CrossFit after work with a nice little scruff felt good.
Okay, so in 2020, or March of 2020, you start seeing the masks. People are taking it voluntarily, and then when's the first time you're told you're going to have to take it?
Yeah, August 2021 is now when the mandate gets dropped from our SecDef, Lloyd Austin, who was a 4-star general of CENTCOM.
Is that that's the fat black? That's the fat black guy.
Tall, obese black guy. I actually got to shake his hand. Not saying that's any kind of accomplishment at all. When I was on a deployment in Al Udeid in 2015, 2016, he came by and like he coined us. The Air Force gives me such PTSD at this point. Like just all the political games to it, games, who likes you, who gets promoted in that aspect as well. I can't stand how political it is, how political the game is, man. I can't stand that.
Okay, and so when you hear the mandate in August of 2021, do you immediately think, "Oh, I'm not taking that"?
Oh yeah, along with a lot of other people, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that. And then September, the next month, within our whole squadron, I think there was like 12 of us that they put into a conference room and tried to talk to us. Like, and this was like the first sergeant and the chief of the squadron.
Let me go back just a second and get some details here. How many people in a squadron?
12.
There's only 12 people in a squadron?
No. 350.
Okay. And of those 350, how did they know that you 12 were the ones that they needed to talk to? Because you guys were vocal, or because something actually documented?
Yeah, we're vocal by doing religious accommodations.
Okay, so you turned something in saying, hey, we're not taking it because of religious reasons.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And back then I had a really good friend, Aaron Bubico, who's a pastor actually in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Same age as me as well. Might be a year younger, but same age. And he owns CrossFit Albuquerque now. But man, we train hard, you know, for CrossFit. He's trying to make regionals with me. But when that came out, we talked every day. He lived in Albuquerque. I lived in Clovis now. I'm now in Cannon Air Force Base, Clovis, New Mexico, which is about a 3-hour drive east of Albuquerque.
So you're still in the Air Force right now.
Yeah. I'm still active duty, believe it or not. It's
crazy. Okay. Go on. So the 12 of you guys do the religious exemption. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, you're fine. And my pastor helped me with that one and explained to me why it's sinful and what, not just the whole fetal cells and all that stuff, but in the Bible, it states in 3 different scriptures. I think one's under 1 John and the other one's in Romans and Hebrews, whatever. But it states like essentially, if you do something that you believe deep in your heart to be wrong, and that could be walking and chewing bubble gum, hypothetically, right? Obviously, that's not breaking any laws. But if you believed it, and again, I say that just to show the severity of the issue or the analogy here, and you do it anyway. Let's say you're brought up and your mom told you don't walk and chew bubblegum, and then you do it as an adult and you know that's wrong in your head, but you do it, that's sinful because you believe it to be wrong, maybe I should use a better analogy. If you walk your dog.
No, I get it.
Yeah, okay, good. So
let me ask you this real quick. When did you take Christianity as your faith? When did you find Jesus?
I officially got saved and baptized. And not saying you have to be baptized to be saved, but I got saved. Being saved really is just confessing in your heart and publicly, not like publicly in a Zoom call, but like to others, that you believe Jesus was raised from the dead, died on the 3rd day. Like you believe the whole thing, the whole story. And I think that's in Romans 9:10 or 10:9. Yeah, one of those. But that was in October of 2021. So this was, around September 2021. So this was right along with my religious accommodations. So honestly, if not for the whole COVID mandate, I probably wouldn't have been saved also and taken, Christianity a lot more serious and read the Bible and learned more about it. But to answer your question, October 2021 is when I officially got saved. But throughout the months and way before that, I thought I was a professed Christian. A lot of people say that, but I didn't know what you had to do or what that even means, really. And honestly, to break it down extremely short, being a Christian is just to try. That's it. Little effort. Try not to sin, and just the 10 really. And a lot of them are agreeable. Don't murder. Don't freaking steal. Don't freaking lie. But even white lies, that's the hard part. Like, don't white lie. Try though. If you do, your conscience will pick up on that if you're a Christian, right? And you'll repent, truly ask for forgiveness from Jesus in your own heart, and try. If you're like, oh crap, I just lied to my mom, like a big lie of how much money I owed her, and I took advantage of her. Oops, I'm sorry, Jesus. I will never do that again. But like, you didn't mean it. Jesus knows, obviously. So just try not to sin. Try not to do what you think is wrong, really.
CrossFit, don't bang people's wives. Yep, throw that in there. Yep.
Yeah, who's he referring to in that? What CrossFit game?
Yeah. Okay, so this is August 2021. The mandate comes down, and then September they take 12 of the 350 people in your squadron, and they bring you into a room. And what's that conversation like?
Sorry, I'm still laughing at that comment. I think he's referring to the 10th commandment: don't covet your neighbor's wife. But that's the Catholicism side of it. Christianity is don't covet, or don't be covetous. Period. Don't be envious or jealous of other people's things. Yeah, see, you shall not covet. But that's what.
And number 7, you shall not commit adultery. So I guess that's if you're married.
Aren't those like the same thing?
No. So, oh man, now we're gonna get into the Bible real fast. In Matthew 5, the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus actually clarifies adultery. And you're not gonna believe this, Savon, but adultery is also having lust in your heart. Even if you're at church, you see a beautiful woman walk by, and you're like, golly, I'd love to take her on a date. Let's just say, and you start undressing her in your mind. You need to like stop yourself and be like, okay, like get that out of my head. And that's tough. Not only that, you shall not murder, the one above it. That's also equal to having hatred in your heart. So if I woke up every morning and I like, my whole goal for the day was, I want vengeance and not retaliation, but I'm vengeful and I want revenge for what they've done to me. I need to stop that out of my system essentially and pray for them, pray for your enemies. And I know it's hard, but the more you do it, it starts to become more accustomed to it. If I start praying for my commander every other day, eventually you're going to start meaning it and not hate him in that aspect. And I don't hate him. I just want accountability, because these guys can be generals, man. They can be MAGCOM generals someday. Who knows if they could be when they retire at 35 years as a whatever general, they could have a civilian job. They could probably even be the next SecDef, the Secretary of War, man. Like that'd be crazy. And if I don't do anything about it now, at least try. That would be unacceptable in my conscience that I didn't do what I feel I have the tools to do. Like if I get arrested again for a third time and like court-martial all again, then that's what happens. If that's what's necessary, that's gonna suck. But if that's what's necessary, then that's what's necessary. If I get killed walking my dogs and there's a hit on me because they cannot silence me, no matter what, I will never be silenced. Just like Charlie Kirk, And if I'm killed with an assassination from a hit, which I think about constantly from my command, and this is again the level of evidence that I have against these guys. I got them on tampering with evidence at this point, falsified dispositions. Talk about my falsified charge from 2008. Like these guys, like my goal is to get these guys court-martialed eventually. Their careers are going to be ruined. Like they're in no position to be leaders right now. These master sergeants and tech sergeants that were involved, they could be chief master sergeants of the Air Force someday. And the only way to silence me and my evidence, because no one knows this stuff like I do, obviously, because it happened to me, is to kill me. They're never gonna stop. They're never gonna stop me from that, ever. And I'm talking about judges at this point. Prior Secretary of the Air Forces, Melissa Dalton and Frank Kendall. They were the two prior Secretary of the Air Forces that did nothing that I asked for help with constantly. I got like 200 emails that I'm CCing tons of high-ranking civilian officials, chief master sergeants of the Air Force. Fleck is the command chief for Cannon. Flosey was the chief master sergeant of the Air Force. These guys just left me on red.
Lance, I want to interrupt you here really quick because
please do.
I really want to hear your story because I listened to four podcasts that you've been on yesterday, and because the story is so intricate, I really and I'm not saying this to be rude at all because I really want to get your story. None of them I could understand the full story because it gets into those details so quickly because you know so much about it. So I just want to at least try to cover the surface so everyone listening can be like, oh shit, this is what happened to this guy.
Okay, go ahead.
So tell me about that meeting where they called the 12 of you in. What did they say to you?
Yeah, they just tried to encourage us to get the vaccine, all spewing BS at that point, because now we know that vaccine to definitely be unlawful and dangerous, especially for younger, fitter people. The more older you are and with comorbidities and obesity, then sure, maybe get it. But again, the fact that these are all young people too. I was probably the oldest.
What's some of the stuff they're telling you? They're telling you it's safe, it stops transmission, all the things that we know aren't true.
Exactly. Safe and effective. They're saying everything that Biden was saying. It will prevent transmission, like you just said, which it didn't. And like they're backing it up with doctors.
Are you guys pushing back? Are you guys asking questions and pushing back in this meeting or just sitting there and listening?
We're pushing back for sure. We're pushing back for sure. But
do they threaten you at all in this meeting, telling you if you don't take it, blah, blah, blah will happen?
They don't threaten us, but they caution us. Another euphemism there, I guess, right? So maybe I could say, yeah. But yeah, they cautioned us, like, if you proceed without getting this, that you may receive disciplinary action, blah, 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 and discharge, And again, this was September 2021, like so early back then. We all had religious accommodations submitted, which across the board, all accommodations were blanket, or what is it called? Rubber stamp denied, because all the denials were exact same verbiage for everyone across the board too. And it was denied by Lieutenant General Slife back then. And there's another guy above him. Lucky for him, I forgot his name. But all those people in that room that I mentioned, 12 of us, everyone from my understanding took it, except for me. Like I was the last one standing. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what happens after that meeting. You guys walk out. Do you guys all put your arms around each other and say, "Hey, let's stick strong together"? Fuck these guys.
No, absolutely not. No, we all dispersed, going our own way. Maybe I should have led that and like group chatted everyone, But like I said, we're all.
Did you know the guys? Did you know them, all of them by name?
I knew one.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And so
so it wasn't like some sort of conspiracy, like you guys were the church boys in the group. You guys were just random 12 dudes who had all on your own come up with like, hey man, this doesn't seem right.
Right. Yeah. 12. Well,
Okay.
there's a couple females as well, maybe 2 or 3 of them. But in a squadron, it's broken up into flights. So there's 2 of us from one flight. Just think of it as little quadrants, So other flights, you really have no interaction at all.
Okay.
Some of the flights. So I didn't even know some of the people there that are in my same squadron, like, yeah.
Okay.
It's like all the different clinics in a hospital.
Yeah.
You have like your allergy immunization clinic, you have your active duty clinic, you have your pediatrics, like those are all different flights. Like you're all segregated off.
Exactly. Yeah. So think of a flight as your CrossFit gym, like, everyone in there. And then another CrossFit gym, maybe you've seen them from a competition or a local event, that would be a different flight. And then the whole squadron is like all the CrossFit affiliates in that state. I guess that's
okay. And then when's your next? So you're like, fuck it, I'm still not taking it. And then when's the next time? So do you have an appointment to get the vaccine and then you just don't show up? What happens next in the story?
So this meeting happened weekly, actually, from what I remember, weekly. And it went through like 4 or 5 of these meetings. And that's when the numbers started dwindling. Now there's 8 of us. Now there's 6 of us. Now there's 4 of us. And then once there was like 4 of us after that, there's no more meeting after that.
Are they giving you the same spiel every time? Like they have a PowerPoint at this point. It's the same thing. Hey, all your buddies got it. Keep going.
Yeah.
Are they threatening you more in each meeting? Are there any threat? Is it getting more significant?
No, same caution, because none of our religious exemptions were denied yet at that point. The official denials were around February, March of the next year, like the little official ones. And once that happened, the floodgates were now open for the commander of that squadron to do whatever he wants to make an example out of you. And the fact that I was the only one left, from my understanding, man, I was like easily able to be made an example out of, which they tried their hardest to. I mean, they essentially did, because look, everyone got the vaccine, right? Other than myself in that squadron, and they just went ham on me. And
so what's that look like? So 5 weeks passed. Now we're in September, October, we're in November. And now what, and you're the last one left. Then what happens?
Yeah. So back to October real quick, they transferred me to a different squadron, whole different squadron. So it's like they moved me from a different CrossFit gym to a different CrossFit gym, right? Think of it like that.
Still on the same Air Force base?
Yeah. Still Cannon Air Force Base.
Okay.
So actually, for my analogy, when I said flights are same or different affiliates under the state, let's just say they moved me across state line to a different affiliate, completely out. Like you have no friends anymore from your past flights. So anyway, that's just an analogy. But I moved squadrons in the same base to the 26 STS, which is like a special operator, like the high speed dudes, Navy SEALs and blah, blah, blah. But it was just Air Force combat control, pararescuemen, TAC-P, if you want to call them special elite, whatever. And another one, I don't even know. They're adding so much to these career.
And why did they move you to? Was that part of the punishment?
Well, I was told from a chief at the time. I freaking forgot his name. It was really hard. I'm gonna try to say Babowski or Babunka or something like that. Maybe, yeah, whatever. But he told me it's to get me a fresh start. Like it was under no COVID premise or any retaliation or reprisal, which it was. I later find out it was, and I'll tell you how. But it was supposedly giving me a fresh start, which it definitely wasn't. Now I'm in the squadron, which was fine. Like I had way more freedom to show these pararescuemen, right, and these elite Air Force special operators. And I say that condescendingly. I set up a bar. I was logistics, so I set up a barbell right in front of my office in the warehouse. Like I had my own little office, but exit my office is a big warehouse of high-speed gear for these guys. I set up my own barbell that I brought from my house, and I load up a 205 bar. And I told each operator that walked into my office, "Hey, you need to attempt to power clean 205 before I'll help you." And that's a good thing about it. They're all type A, they're all competitive, and they're like, "Oh, hell yeah, okay." And like 9 times out of 10, they couldn't do it, and it was funny. And they're like, "Let me see you do the supply," and then I would do it effortlessly because to a 205 power clean is nothing, especially back then. My PR was 315 back then, not anymore. But anyway, it's just to show these guys, it's just to get their respect immediately, like they can't do something that I can, because they take advantage of all these supply guys before me. Like they think they could just kick us around and all that stuff. So it wasn't unlawful what I did there, because no one had issues with it. Everyone had fun with it. So anyway, I thought that'd be
right. I like it. Okay, so you moved to the new squadron, and is the new guy there also trying to get you to take the injection?
No. So at this time, I'm in limbo. We're just waiting for the results of our religious accommodations. We're just pending results. Pending result, approval or denial. So I'm just working, relaxing, chilling, having fun, blah blah blah. But okay, so January of 2022, I'm now moved back to my original squadron. So this was supposed to be a PCA, a permanent change of assignment. A PCS is a permanent change of station. So it was a PCA to a different squadron, and they moved me back. And that's what I was like, what are you guys doing moving me back? And then all my leadership in my previous squadron told me to include the leadership here at the SCS told me that it was a temporary borrow. It was never supposed to be a PCA, which I had the orders, the paperwork that it was a PCA. So they lied right there. And this is so early on. This is when I start to notice contradictions, like that don't make sense. And now at this point, there's over 1,000, right? 1,000 of them to where I don't trust a single person in the military at this point, and for good reason. But they moved me back to my original squadron, which I later find out it's due to quotas for the vaccine. So each commander on the base for their squadrons, for any commander that had 100% member or what, 100% completion, COVID
Compliance,
shots, compliance or whatever, that looked good to the wing commander. And I didn't even know this at the time. I thought of it like this there's got to be something behind this. And then there's commanders that have 99%, 98%, which means there's one or two people that aren't getting vaccinated, which means and looks like to the wing commander, who's pretty much the base commander, this squadron commander can't get all his subordinates vaccinated like this other commander can. That's going to affect ranking. That's going to affect their OPRs, which is officer performance reports. And these guys are so obsessed with the next rank. They want to make the next rank as an officer. They want to get to a full bird colonel. They want to get to general. Man, that's pretty sad. So that's why they moved me back. And that's where I was originally moved from my old squadron. So they could get their 100% quota. Maybe, and now I'm not their issue. And I'm someone else's issue, a different commander's issue. But now he realized I'm unvaccinated and will not get it. So they moved me back. And he takes me back, and here's how I find this out. I find this all out on my military attorney's interview notes that she sent me, which state that Lieutenant Colonel Vasquez told her that it was asked from him, from the commander of the STS, if I could be sent back due to my vaccination status. Like, they have no use for me. I can't TDY, I can't deploy with any of these guys. So that's retaliation. Like, they weren't able to.
What's TEY? What's TEY?
Oh, temporary tour of duty. It's just when you go on a special.
Okay, so since you weren't vaccinated, you weren't valuable to them, and you hurt his reputation.
Right, which is reprisal, especially when these accommodations weren't approved or denied yet. They're
so in January 2022, they send you back, and are you greeted with hostility there?
I am, because my EPR as a staff sergeant was due, and my rating, was a do not promote. And I had zero paperwork. Again, other than that 2008, that's gone. That 2008 Article 15 is gone. Like, it can't be used against me for reporting. For rating. I'm a do not promote. So back then it was like a 5 rank structure. Absolutely do not promote or whatever. I'm just saying, like 1 through 5, do not promote, must not promote. I don't remember it right now. Then number 3 would be promote. Number 4 would be maybe promote with good cause or whatever. And then 5 would be absolutely promote. This guy is a CrossFit Games level performance, whatever. They gave me a 2, which was do not promote. And again, you have to have paperwork to back up any of your ratings. I had no paperwork at all. No disciplinary actions, no warnings, no LOCs, no RICs.
Matter of fact, in 2013, you got a letter saying you were great.
2017, yeah.
17, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Made me look like, I was a...
Okay, so then what happens? So you're there, and do they start putting the pressure on you again, start having meetings with you?
Yeah, so my do not promote, I get a bad EPR, but I fight it. And that's when I start fighting this corruption stuff. It took me 3 weeks to fight it. I'm emailing my first sergeant. I'm trying to get all the evidence as to why I deserve this do not promote. It's so easy. Like, my current leadership that I moved back to, try to blame it on the other leadership that I was at. And they said that they're stating, you know, that I wasn't doing my job functions properly. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I got no paperwork there. And they all said I did a great job. So I one up them. It's always chess. It's always chess between these people. I one up them. I schedule a meeting with the commander then and all his little officials. And I got in an audio recording that they had no issues with me. So I bring the audio recording back to my command. Like, what are you guys talking about? Contradiction here, right? Like, you guys are blaming them. They said I did great. Lo and behold, my EPR gets changed to a promote. Now I'm promote status again under Vasquez, Enrique Vasquez here. He signs it. So right there, right off the bat, like, you guys screwed up immensely trying to hurt my promotion chances. So that's where we're at, January 2022. Okay, so officially the accommodation denials come out in March of 2022, and boom, now it's time for my commander to get me. Like, it's time. Like, he immediately orders me again, the second order to receive the COVID vaccine under FDA approval, which they weren't FDA approved. Are you joking? Like, just because it stated on CNN that they were FDA approved due to it being interchangeable, EUA, emergency use authorization, is interchangeable, and we're not going to say it's like, are you joking, man? The CDC changed the definition of what the frick of a vaccine is to fit the mRNA narrative. Like, I could see right through it back then,
right?
Especially when I was a conspiracy theorist, you know.
By the way, did you see any guys in that time who got the vaccine who started having heart conditions, like some other?
Yes, it's so sad. I'm gonna name his name too, Jet Forgy. I was a supervisor. I told him not to get it, and he looked up to another NCO. I'm not gonna say his name just in case, because he did nothing wrong other than not having discernment. But he got it, and then for that, he didn't listen to me, and he ended up getting it, because it's like, you know, a lot of people don't fiend or pursue hard things. I don't know. Don't like confrontation, man. They don't want to rattle the cages, especially within your command. And I've learned that, man, I love doing that. Like, I excel at that legally and respectfully. And I'm not gonna.
So what happened? This guy got a heart attack?
Yeah, he's 21. Jet Forgy. No, not heart attack. He had myocarditis. He has serious heart issues right now. Till this day, I text him regularly. I think I texted him a week ago. He can't even work out anymore. He can't get his heart rate above a certain 130 or something doctor recommendation, because he could have a heart attack.
He was in your squadron? This is a guy who was in your squadron? Yeah. Yeah.
Not even flight. He was in my flight. I was his supervisor. We worked in the weapons vault in IPE. Great guy, man. I'm gonna send him this link to this podcast too that I'm talking about him. Jet Forgy freaking sucks that now his whole like, he's 21, now he's 25, 24. What? Like, he's not in the Air Force anymore. Like, oh my gosh, it's sad.
Okay, so in March they tell you of 2022, they tell you to get the injection again, and you say, and basically it's tied to your promotion, and you say no.
Yeah, at this point, I don't care. At this point, like, I know how bad it is. Like, all these documentaries coming out of it that I trust and believe, all these heart issues happening. From that point, though, my commander gives me a written order to receive the COVID vaccine, and now reading it and now looking at it, it's an unlawful order, because he orders me to get the FDA approved one. And those were under strict BLA lot numbers that were only available in like Europe or some crap. No BLA FDA approved lot numbers even existed in America, you know. So that's an unlawful order. And I write a rebuttal to it. Not only that, I even wrote him an Article 138 informal complaint that I go ham on, that he arbitrarily denies, saying lack of evidence. Like, these commanders have so much discretion. It's disgusting. And then he, let's see. So I get my rebuttal. He denies my rebuttal, and he upholds the LOR. This happens again. Gives me the exact same LOR, same verbiage.
What month is this now? Is this April or May?
This would be May. Yeah.
Okay.
Now progress to May. Same exact time. Same exact thing happened. I write a rebuttal. He denies it. It gets put into my PIF. Now my PIF is getting stacked.
What's that? That's like your file, your military file.
Yeah. And if you have a PIF, it's bad. It's like disciplinary stuff. Do you have a PIF by any chance, Mr. Beaver?
No.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah, if you have one paper in a PIF, like, that's some bad stuff. It could also lead to what's it called? I forgot. It's like UCI, not UCI, but I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, Beaver. Crap. I forgot. But it could progress to something above that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember here in a bit. But anyway, yeah. So now I get those thrown in there, and then now he's able to discharge me. He recommends me for discharge.
What is that? That means kick you out of the military.
Yeah. Not even with an honorable. So at this point, I had like 18 years of honorable service because I've re-enlisted like 3 times, all honorable conditions, even with my 2008 Article 15. Like again, that's like in the past at this point, you know. Like they're not even looking into that. It's not in my PIF. That's something done and over with. And my discharge board is for October. So at this point, I'm like pissed. I'm like,
October of 2022.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That's when I'm going under a discharge board, and they're just going to review what kind of discharge. Is it going to be honorable? It's going to be if you do have anything under than honorable, that's not good. But the one under honorable is general. And under
so in October 2022, you're gonna have a meeting, and they're gonna bring you up, and there's gonna be a bunch of guys sitting at a desk, and they're gonna be like, "You didn't get the vaccine, so you disobeyed orders. You're out."
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Not in a meeting. It's in a courtroom, actually.
Courtroom. Okay.
Yeah, and who knows how high ranking these officials are going to be judging me. These judges are going to be judging me. You know, you didn't do what our commander appointed you to do. Our commander in chief, who didn't even know his own name. And I don't think I could be charged for that because there's evidence of him not knowing his own name and where he was at and what direction he was walking at. But I'm going to abide by an unlawful. A PIF is yeah. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. So October comes actually, and guess what happens? The Supreme Court freezes this mandate. So I lucked out. So I didn't have to undergo that. But it's a double-edged sword because now I'm in limbo once again. They froze it for how long? Now I'm within my same squadron. They moved me from the weapons vault to a different flight. Oh no, to a different squadron. I got moved to the same back squadron in a different freaking office as customer support. And now I get completely moved different flights to equipment or something. And now I'm in this office with like 3 old civilians that are constantly harassing me. They're like, why don't you just get the vaccine? Like, I got it. I'm fine. My wife got it. We're fine. Like, what's your issue, man? What's your issue?
How do they know? Do you bring it up, or does everyone know? Does everyone in the squadron know you're the guy?
I think so, because I definitely didn't bring that up. So
okay.
Which
is kind of crazy because it's like I don't talk about you going to the hospital to get your Adderall. Like I'm not going to bring up all the shit that you talk about. Like, oh, I have to go to a doctor's appointment. Oh, what do you have to go to the doctor's appointment for? Are you depressed? You want to kill yourself? Oh, that's interesting. Why don't you just not kill yourself?
Right. Unless in that scenario, your supervisor told his friend, and then that friend told someone else, and it just starts to spread that this guy's on Adderall and he needs his Adderall to perform, So again, it just takes one person. It just takes one person to spread that wildfire.
Is that a Born Primitive flannel you're wearing?
I don't know, actually. What is it?
Oh, is it stretchy?
No, it's probably not.
Okay. All right, just checking. It's my favorite flannel. Okay. So in October, so you don't go to that meeting. There's been a suspension because of the Supreme Court, so you don't even have to go to your meeting, your discharge meeting.
Correct. Yeah. And now I'm burning leave throughout this whole month. I had like 80 days of leave, and I was told that if I'm discharged with all that leave, there's going to be a good chance I can't recoup it. I can't sell it, and I'm not going to be able to use it, obviously, because I'm discharged. Even on terminal leave, I was like, what the F? So I just start burning it just in case. And then December, I get my first LOR and LOC on the same day from Michael Carey, Master Sergeant Michael Carey. I pray for you, sir, if you ever see this. Man, this guy.
LOR, what's an LOR and an LOC? What are those? Letter of.
LOR is significantly more dire than an LOC.
Letter of reprimand and a
letter of counseling. Yeah.
Letter of counseling. Yep.
You don't have to have prior LOCs to get an LOR. It just depends on the issue. But think of it as 3 LOCs can equal an LOR. If you're late to work, LOC. If you're late to work again, well, after like verbal warnings, like if it's a trend and now you're 10 minutes late to work, like you're just not getting it. Another LOC if the supervisor's nice. And then if you're late for the 4th time, 20 minutes, LOR, it progresses to that. It's supposed to be like a trend, disciplinary whatever it's called. I don't freaking know.
So
But yeah,
basically behind the scenes, they're like, when that Supreme Court thing happens, they're like, fuck. They clearly have a meeting. They're like, we got to just kick this fucking dude out.
man, I don't have evidence of that.
But you could speculate that because he wrote the letter. It didn't just come out of thin air. Like you were on their radar for someone to do that.
Right, because these paperwork, these LOCs and LRs are starting getting petty. This LOR, you're not going to believe this, is headlined "Threatening Language and Behavior." Threatening language and behavior, and the threat that I apparently threatened him with is I called him silly in a text message, and that's going to be important here because that will progress to an Article 15 3 months later. So I got an LOR for texting him, "I'll be at your office here in a bit, silly." When I'm asking him prior, like we were actually cool at one point. I was asking, "Hey, you want to do this CrossFit competition with me? You want to enter this weightlifting competition? You want to hit the gym?" And he fist bumps me in the morning. Like we're on that level as a supervisor, you know. But yeah, I got an LOR for that, and an LOC same day for missing his timeline of a suspense that he gave me 12 minutes prior that he doesn't state was a 12-minute suspense.
What's a suspense?
A deadline. Like,
okay,
yeah, you have 24 hours to do this work assignment, but he gave me a 12-minute suspense that clearly I didn't fit, and all I had to do was sign my EPR. He wanted me to sign his EPR, which is a work suspense, but I couldn't open the.
So he's basically trying to make a paper trail on you,
right? And I couldn't open it due to a password protected, and I missed his stupid ass suspense. And I have all the text messages of it too, you know. And he writes me an LOC and LR, and at that point, man, I'm like, dude, you're messing. In my head, I'm like, you're messing with the wrong person. I'm not gonna tolerate this crap, dude. This is bad, you know. I'm like, okay, I'm now in a hostile freaking work environment. This is insane. And this is where now, like to January 2023, man, this is where it kicks off. This is where one of the most important details of evidence till this day is from January 2023. And I find in my PIF, because I request it, I'm now declared an insider threat. I'm criminally investigated, and it's in this document. It's a CUI reportable for information, criminal conduct allegations. Okay. I'm declared an insider threat. I'm alleged radicalized towards an anti-US government group in the wake of his refusal to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. I even memorized it at this point. And why that is important is because today that shit's removed. They're trying to bury their trail, you know.
So they put that in there in January 2023, but now if you go look in your PIF, it's not there.
Correct.
Are you allowed to do that? Are there rules around the PIF that you're not allowed to take stuff out of it?
There's a certain member, like it's usually the first sergeant who has the rights to it, and he's assigned to that from the commander. So there should only be 1 or 2 people max that are putting in information taken out. And from what I've read, like if they take something out, there's no reason to put back in, you know. And if you can start to see the trend of why they're taking stuff out, and man,
they're trying to make themselves look good. When they fuck up, they're taking the stuff up that they charged you for wrong out so they don't look like jackasses.
Right. And it's like they're not even smart by doing it, because if one of my congressional inquiry complaints that I'll write next week, I don't know, like once the floodgates open and then, you know, an OSI investigator talks to my commander, like, hey, can I see his PIF? And they get my updated version of my PIF, and it doesn't show the stuff that I'm stating. Who knows if that's a lazy OSI investigator, which is Office of Special Investigation. In the Army, it's a CIS, criminal investigation, whatever. And then it's NCIS for the Marines and Navy. So it's all interchangeable terms here. But like, you know, oh my gosh, I need someone of competence, damn it, to like look into my stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. So not only that, but that document also states illegal stuff as well. The flight commander, Captain Liam Lawrence, who was also a witness at my trial for the first one, he states in it that he instructed, which is synonymous with ordered. So essentially, he ordered members within the squadron to not talk to me, to not interact with me, which even means handing me a pencil if I ask for a pen or pencil. That's interaction. And under no circumstance go to my house. So if any member would have done that, even talk to me, that's violating his verbal order, and they could get an LOC, you know. And everyone's so scared to do anything wrong. And I didn't know this at the time, though. Like I walked by someone in the hallway and, hey, dude, how you doing? What's up? And I completely ignored me. And I remember that, and I was like, did I not? Was that me? Like, was I not loud enough? I don't know. And I thought nothing of it until it kept happening. Like people were ignoring me. So yeah, at that point I had high blood pressure issues. I knew they were out for. I felt it. It was an instinct that they were out for me. Like they're gunning for me. So now I'm in a hostile work environment, and I'm like, dude, it's dangerous for me to be in my office, like the office where they reassigned me to. So at that point, I started going to the chaplain a lot, which is not illegal by any means. Going to the chaplain, asking him what I should do. He wrote me a telework accommodation for the first time. And these telework recommendations start to get abundant because not only from him, and he's not a mental health provider, a medical provider, I start getting them eventually throughout the timeline from actual mental health providers. They're like, he needs to telework. Essentially, he needs to be away from this command, because it's so obvious what they're doing, especially now when I have all the evidence of it. Like I've investigated this myself in depth. Okay, so yeah, go ahead, ask your question. I'm sorry.
Okay, so January 2022, they write that in your no, sorry, is it January 2022 or January 2023?
23 now, yeah.
January 2023, they write in your PIF, don't talk to this guy, and he's a threat to national security, and you're basically being ostracized and shit. And they've given you a letter saying that this LOR, and
yeah,
it's like we got to kick this guy out because of that.
Yeah.
So when's your next meeting? What happens after that?
It's not basically ostracized. It is ostracized. It is
ostracized. Yeah. Don't talk to him. Don't go to his house. Don't work with him.
Right. What was your question? I'm sorry.
What happens after that? Then after January, then what's the next?
Yeah. So after that,
and now you're going to the chaplain a lot, like looking for some sort of camaraderie or a console.
Oh, and he was on my side. He was like, "Yeah, this vaccine crap is bullshit." And I'll go to his office.
Is the chaplain a member of the military, by the way? Is the chaplain? Yeah, okay.
He's a captain, active duty as well. He unfortunately got it, regrets it. So there's three different types of people, in my opinion. And I'm not bashing anyone. There's ones who didn't get it, the ones who did get it but regret it. Like, damn, I was tricked and learned from it. And the ones who got it and don't even care that they got it. Like, they don't even know what the hell's happening today.
Right.
They're just, living in their own bubble. But I got an Article 15 now, man. So that would be after an LOR. That's what happens after. Like, they progress to an Article 15, and now for two charges. One is it's before a failure to go, FTG. So they say they're alleging I'm failing to go to my place of duty, right? When they know I'm at the chaplain, and I'm texting with my supervisor, I'm at the chaplain, and he's giving me like work assignments to do at the chaplain. Oh yeah, Article 15 right there. So he's essentially okay with I'm at the chaplain. He's like, okay, well, make sure these are in text messages too. He's like, before you go home for the day, check on my email. I need you to sign something, whatever, like a work related issue. So he's aware I'm there. But guess what? I think it was all like sneaky behavior, because he writes me an Article 15 for not being at my place of duty when he knows I was at the chaplain throughout that week. It was like throughout 4 days. And then they also stack the disrespect and subordination charge again of me calling him silly and showing him disrespectful language, threatening language, and threatening behavior. So now they've gotten the LOR and evolved that into an Article 15. And I need to hit that hard, because they removed that LOR for my first court-martial. And not only that, they evolve it to a UCMJ charge. Like, you can't get higher than that anymore. Goes from an LOR to an Article 15 to a UCMJ charge. And that is significant because they're stacking the deck against me on top of my other 4 charges. And I'm jumping real fast, but I'm trying to hit how important this is. The judge even catches it. Even though the LOR has been removed, she catches that the Article 15 has the same verbiage with the UCMJ charge of insubordination towards my superior enlisted and non-commissioned officer. But she drops that charge because of the double jeopardy aspect of it. She asks Colonel Vasquez, Lieutenant Colonel Vasquez, on the stand, why did you recharge him for disrespect for charge 4, which was to master sergeant carry, if you already charged him for disrespect in Article 15 for the same actions and roughly around the same period? Do you remember the rationale behind this, right? And this is the guy charging me that I could go to jail again for, and like.
Are you in the room when this is going on, when she's questioning him?
in my YouTube channel. This is the whole court martial from the first trials on my YouTube channel. This guy literally, she asked him, "Do you remember your rationale on why you would recharge it?" He says, "I do not." With a little puppy dog, like his little puppy dog tone is gonna have any points with her. I do not. To just admit on the stand under oath that you don't know why you recharged him, that was like bombshell stuff right there, you know? Bombshell evidence.
And this isn't common everyday stuff in the military too. So if he's taking these actions on you, he should remember this.
Yeah. So this guy right here, this involves, so this is June 2024. So we're jumping from, we're jumping quickly for the scenario. We're in February 2023 to June 2024 with this video. This is Colonel Churchill.
Okay, let's not play this. Hold on. So that's the guy. I don't want to jump ahead because nowhere could I find your whole story. So I want to make sure that like this podcast has your whole story. But thank you, Caleb, for showing the guy. And I did watch that video. It was crazy. So January 2023, and then when is that? Tell me what happens after that. Then you actually go, and that's when you meet in front of this judge.
So I got the Article 15. No, not yet. Article 15, and I wrote a rebuttal, of which he denies. And I shouldn't have ever accepted the Article 15, but my ADC, Area Defense Counsel, Lisa Tirado, she's like, yeah, go Article 15 because you don't want this to progress to court-martial, right? Obviously. But she's thinking that the commander has competence, like competence, discernment, and judgment, not that he could just do whatever he wants with like zero discernment, man. It's nonsensical in this case. So I accept Article 15 and I write the rebuttal, hoping he would drop it. Like I show all the messages, I show all the proof. He arbitrarily upholds it. And then my last chance after that is to appeal it to his boss, Colonel Barry Roche, who was the previous guy in 2008 who gave me that Article 15 that we talked about from Tinker Air Force Base, 33rd Herd Squadron. Like, how crazy is that? Like, no one even understood that at that point. I'm not saying he has it in for me, but I mean, it is biased. He could be like, holy crap, I remember this guy. He actually did remember me because I asked him in a phone call, January 2024. Like, all these little timeline events are stuck in my head, but he actually did remember me. So who knows if his denial of my appeal was biased, right? But anyway, so I get the Article 15. I'm now lowered rank from staff sergeant to senior airman unlawfully. And so everyone calling me senior airman, they don't mean anything. They don't mean anything wrong, but damn, that's one of the biggest triggers, man. Like, because it reminds me of that incident and how unlawful that was, Damn. And I'm going to get everything back. I'm either going to die trying or I don't know, but like, I'm getting everything back. I know I will. I feel it. Just like Jason Hopper knew he was going to win the games, you got to believe this shit deep in your heart. If you're Noah Olsen and you don't believe you can win the games, you're not going to win the freaking games accidentally, right? I don't know if you agree with me on that.
I do. So January 2023, and then when's your next? So they're telling you have to leave the military, and then what happens after that?
When's your next meeting? Okay, yeah. So January is now also when the COVID mandate is officially lifted. Like, this is a significant event. And lifted from the Supreme Court because the Navy SEALs had this whole trial going on about it. So now they won their case. I can't reference the number or whatever, but like it's officially lifted, no more. And everyone who got tricked into getting it in the military, especially my troops, my subordinates, they were like, "What the f, man? Are you joking? Like this was just mandated 2 years ago. Now it's not. Like everyone can see through it now." So check this out. This is also big. April of 2023, I'm now declared an active shooter. And when I tell people this, they're like, what the man? Like, if you want any pieces of paperwork, I would be more than happy to email it to you as well. I'm declared an active shooter from a different NCO in the squadron that he wrote as an MFR and had the first sergeant throw into my PIF. He's declaring me a potential active shooter. And this is on top of me being an insider threat alleged, right? And radicalized. Like, they're building this stupid narrative against me. And the next day, a different supervisor. Okay, so the first one was Sean Garcia. Now the next day, it's Tech Sergeant Sherilyn Cleveland. She adds to it. She writes her own MFR and states that I'm targeting members. Like, what kind of evidence do you even have? She's like,
so you're saying that they wrote a document stating that you were an active shooter? They didn't like call security forces and say, hey, we have an active shooter and his name is
Well,
Lance
So,
Castle?
so they
How
had
does that,
OSI.
how does that work?
They had OSI investigate me as well, which no significant findings came back because their results that I FOIA requested stated that they investigated it and the results were I'm not one or whatever. I'm not one. So these allegations, they had no proof either. They were just saying, I fear for my life. I fear for my work.
So they
life.
were saying that you have potential to be an active shooter. Like you
Right.
being dubbed an insider threat meant that, okay, it's possible he has weapons in his home and he could come after me. That's what they're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, and all OSI's authority that they have, they probably searched deep in the records of how many guns I've bought throughout my life, and I've bought 0. I don't have any guns as of this moment. I mean, as of that moment. So like they got nothing on me, you know. Maybe they thought I have guns because the guns are big. A lot of military members like to have guns. Maybe they were going to use something against me. I don't know. I never thought of that till right now. Actually, maybe if they would have saw that.
Well, generally, what has to happen if you have weapons and you live on base, or if you're somebody that works at the base, you register them with security forces and you store them with security forces. So that's potentially where they were looking at.
Right. And if I would have had any guns bought and not registered it through security forces, dang, it would have got me. I never thought of that. Yeah, holy crap.
Oh, so it was just an excuse to dig. To try to catch them on technicality.
That's an excuse to dig. Yeah.
That's crazy. I never thought of that. Holy crap. So now the other supervisor, Sharon Cleveland, says that she fears for her life and that I'm targeting members. I think.
And now your only documented threat to anyone was calling someone silly.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Not standing in parade rest when that was a complete lie. He also stated that I didn't stand in parade rest, like with your hands behind your back. When I did, I hesitated, but I definitely did. But he's able to lie because I didn't record the damn audio. This is why I start recording everything, video and audio, because they're just doing whatever they want, man. And if I would have had audio of me going in parade rest, whatever, he wouldn't have been able to have stated that in his article, in the Article 15.
So there's one accusation you called them silly, which is documented, and then another accusation when you were standing there, you didn't have your hands behind you, but no one has proof of that.
That's definitely an accusation. The silly, I definitely did, but I didn't. It wasn't.
This is some crazy shit, dude.
It gets worse. Like till today, it gets worse. I don't know how I'm still alive, to be honest. It gets way worse.
Well, I have a question for you, Lance. Why, when the mandate was released, didn't they just fucking leave you alone and send you to an office and just be like, fuck this guy, let's just send him to fucking Antarctica to our base there, and he can fucking like watch boats come up over the fucking Arctic Circle? And why didn't they just fucking like just be done with you? Why are they still fucking with you?
Which is what most commands want. Well, I mean, which is what most commands did.
That's what I would have done. I would have just been like, all right, send this dude to the fucking desert and he can count sand, and then in 2 years he'll retire and we'll just never deal with him again.
I got perfectly like if someone got struck by lightning walking to their car. Why did that guy get struck by lightning? Why God? Why Jesus? Right? Like it's rare. He's unlucky. I say as lucky though because this is a.
But why do they have it out? Do you have any idea why they're just not like? I mean, it's done.
Because I was the last one standing, and they need to make an example of if you defy this commander or my command, this is what we'll do to you. You know, that's the only explanation I have. And their ego. Especially my commander, Lieutenant Colonel Vasquez, you'll hear him on the stand, the stuff that I'll quote, his ego. Like it was hard for him to submit to that, you know, like that would be him having to admit that his orders were wrong to get the vaccine. And they've already hit me hard with all this paperwork. And then for them just to do that, wash their hands and walk away on me, that's conceding. They don't want to concede to that, you know?
Okay. So April of 2023 now, they're telling you didn't stand with your hands behind you. What happens after that?
No, yeah, that was from January though.
Oh, January.
But the April was our active shooter.
Yes. Yeah, and you don't even. And at that point, you don't even own a gun.
Right. Oh yeah. And I'm targeting members in the squadron to kill. What? It's insane. So of course it's going to lead to my arrest. Looking back. Like,
why would they still let you on base if they had that accusation? Shouldn't they be like, hey, you're on permanent leave?
Well, that accusation was April 4th, and I was arrested on April 10th. So they didn't. It took time.
And what did they arrest you for?
So this is going to get good. I'm trying to see right before if anything else significant happened. Well, just before we move on from that document, she stated that I'm targeting members in the squadron implying to kill. Okay, let's just say implying to kill. Like, what else am I targeting them for?
Do they
and
have
she
any quotes? Do they have any witnesses? Do they have anyone saying like, "Hey, he told me he was going to kill me"?
This is all from memory too. She states that they found a list or whatever. That's a paraphrase. Okay, don't hold me on that one. But there was a list found or whatever the heck when there's no damn list found.
Is that list in your PIF? Is that list in your PIF?
No, hell no. They made that up. And I think Carrie Carrie and Garcia, man, I don't know how deep the corruption is. And I've even wrote IG complaints on her. Like, you guys need to investigate her on how she even came to this conclusion. And then the guy, Gary Carruthers of AFSOC, the IG, he literally told me in a phone conversation not too long ago, he's like, these people, it was 2 years ago, these people have probably moved bases. Like, how am I going to contact them at this point? Like, are you stupid? Like, look up their email address.
How can they say you have a list if they can't show you have a list? That part I'm struggling with that.
That's where the term of abuse of authority, unlawful command, influence. This is where all the terms come from. Like, how can you say you have a 315-pound snatch when you don't? You lie, literally just lie. You know?
Yeah, you need some evidence. I mean, that's a pretty intense accusation.
Golly, I know, and I don't even think that's one of the biggest bombs that I have today. But yeah, they use all that. And
is that what they arrest you for on April 10th?
No.
What do they arrest you for?
They all use it as evidence to like cumulative effect evidence. So she also states in it that I'm targeting members in the squadron who have crossed me or in command leadership. Again, I'm paraphrasing.
And they're saying you're targeting them, and yet you've been demoted, and no one's allowed to talk to you, and you're targeting people. Okay, so even if you were targeting people, you have no power. They've neutered you.
Right, and I like that you brought that up, because I'm also not reporting to my work section because it's a hostile work environment. I know they're gunning for me. I know they're manipulating evidence. I know they're gonna falsify crap. My blood pressure was 180. Actually, I have pictures of it being 180, like just chilling with 180. Like, I was gonna have a stroke. That's dangerous stuff. And I was refusing to report to my duty location, but I was still reporting to the chaplain and the first sergeant. You know, like this is a dangerous situation here. So yeah, I like that you said that, because she's like, oh, we're afraid of our lives, but I'm not even reporting to that.
And yet it was you who was afraid for your life.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now April 10th comes, okay, and I think it's a TTM meeting. I text my first sergeant, Isaac Crispin, and this April 10th is the date of my TTM, which is a team treatment meeting, and it's a mental health meeting with a therapist, mental health therapist, with your commander, with your PC, what's it called? Your physician, PC, what the heck is that called? PC, I don't remember. Oh my gosh. PA, wait, what's it called?
PCM, primary care manager.
Oh, there you go. I can't believe a brain aneurysm right there. But yeah, all these people get together and they're supposed to literally discuss in good faith, like, what can we do for this guy, man? Like, you know, and it never happened. That TTM was scheduled, but it never happened, because when I drive to base on April 10th, I was arrested at the gate en route to my TTM, which in the court martial that comes later, that was brought up, and it was a plot. It was an ambush style plot. The judge asks my commander on the stand, who scheduled me the CTM? She said, first of all, did you think the CTM to be important that you scheduled? He said yes, which makes sense, because if he would have said no, right, why are you scheduling TTMs that you don't think are important? That's abusing the system. So he's smart enough to say yes. And then she got him with the next question. She said, well, if you believed for his TTM to be significant, why did you have him arrested and brought to confinement instead of bringing him and having him escorted by security forces to his TTM? He literally answers, I thought it was a done deal. And he has an accent. English isn't his first language. He's like, I thought it was a done deal. What the euphemism, again, for he wasn't my problem. Like, F him, whatever. I don't know. I thought it was a done deal. Does that? Can you describe transcribe that for me, or not transcribe? Can you decipher that for me? Anybody? What that might meant?
A done deal meaning they thought that they were just going to arrest you and kick you out.
Yeah, But that doesn't answer her question, though. The judge's question, who's
Right.
cross-examining him. Like, why did
Well,
you have
he was suggesting that he thought the TTM was irrelevant because they already had enough against you.
Bingo. Yeah, you got it. Exactly.
Okay,
There you
so
go.
they arrest you on April 10th, and the charges are that you're
Yeah. Charges are good, man. Desertion, which from March 1st to April 10th, desertion, of which I'm on leave from March 1st throughout, like March 12th, like throughout, I'm on leave throughout these dates. My dog at the time, Monkey, he was dying. And I was like bringing him to the vet back and forth, man. Like that my commander blames eventually on my therapist. Not that it was my fault. He literally told my therapist that I let him bleed out when that's so freaking false. And I thought I should throw that in there. Like he just lies so much. But yeah, desertion that gets lowered to AWOL on day 2 of the trial. So they improperly charged me with desertion because desertion has to be above 30 days of being AWOL. Okay, so they can't charge you with desertion unless you're past 30 days. If you're from 2 to 30 days, that's AWOL. Okay, you could be AWOL for any of that, and then under 1 day or whatever is failure to go. So it's all progressive. My second charge was disobeying a direct order from Vasquez to report back to work, and like obviously I knew what they were doing. Let me say this too, because throughout the trial that we'll get into, my supervisor Michael Carey and the flight commander Liam Lawrence, their text messages were subpoenaed from my ADC Captain Lisa Tirado, and in these text messages that were revealed in court, man, they were like making fun of my my religious accommodations. They're like, oh, this guy thinks the vaccine's ungodly, when I never even stated it was ungodly. Sure. But they were like, look at him, he thinks it's ungodly. And I took a screenshot of this. They were stalking my on-base whereabouts between each other. They're like, he says that he's at the Chaplain. What's his license plate again? What does he drive? Oh, a Dodge Ram. What color is it? So they're
that makes sense. That makes sense, doesn't it, Lance? If they think you're AWOL, they're trying to figure out where you're at, right?
Well, I wasn't charged with AWOL then, though. Like this was what led to. Okay, maybe I guess to concede there, plays devil advocate. Sure. But
what was the third charge? What was the third charge? AWOL didn't take direct orders. What was the third charge?
Third charge was I'm trying to save the best for last. Disobeying a direct order from my commander. Oh, insubordination, which is disrespect again towards my supervisor Carey. But they labeled it as in deportment, which is synonymous with in person. So they're not even specific to these charges. The fourth charge is disrespect to a superior commissioned officer, which was Vasquez. And the fifth one was the best one, assault on 2 specifications.
Wow.
Yeah. And these are like some serious charges, man.
What do they accuse you? And that's what you get arrested for on April 10th.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Did you ever hit anyone?
So yes. But it was self-defense. So that cell extraction video, it shows me blindly punching that 6 foot freaking 4 200 monster.
So this is when did that jail? So this is after that video, the jail video.
The jail video is the day after, April 11th. That's in the morning, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Can we play that, Caleb? It's the very bottom one.
Okay.
I thought that was it. You had already been in jail for 17 days when that happened.
Oh no, that was 1 day. That was 1 day, yeah.
So on April 10th they arrested you, but the 5th charge didn't come until April 11th.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, this is crazy.
Correct.
Okay. Now, really quick before we do this, how did you? On April 10th they arrest you, and why are they coming in there to get you?
So yeah. So first of all, it's mandatory for them to record this within their AFI. So a lot of people ask me, how did you get this recording? And I got this easily with my court documents that I received in my record of trial of this. Yeah. So I have a blanket over my head. I'm diagnosed with migraines at that time. And that light is extremely bright. It's like an interrogation light, right? I'm going to obviously shield the freaking light from my face. But
is it on you 24 hours?
No.
Okay.
Thank goodness not. But the later prisons I end up, yes. We'll get into that. So I'm shielding the blanket off my head. That's it. And they're saying I'm non-compliant. But in the paperwork, they all wrote that I'm being belligerent. I'm flipping furniture. You'll see all the furniture I flipped when the door opens.
So
it's
let me ask
spotless.
you this. So an hour before someone walks by this jail cell, looks in there and says, Lance Castle, take the blanket off your head. Then they come back 30 minutes later. They're like, Lance, take the blanket off your head. And you're just ignoring them.
Right. Yeah. Essentially.
How many times did they tell you to take the blanket off your head?
I don't know. 10.
Over what period? Over like a 1 hour period or a 2 hour period?
1 hour period.
And you can hear them talking to you through the door?
Yeah, I can hear him right there. Yeah.
No, but even before this, the guy who's telling you to take the blanket off your head.
Absolutely. But the thing is, I was on prescribed medication too, like for what it's called, but it was like for PTSD stuff as well. I was on blood pressure stuff too. Like this is 11 o'clock in the morning on April 11th right here. I've received none of my medications, so that felt weird. You know, I'm already agitated, irritable to say the least, and I'm not receiving my medications. And like, I'm like in a mental health crisis, physical crisis. Migraines suck, and that light was bright. I had to pretty much keep my eyes closed. But
so you're not in there screaming or yelling or anything. You just have a blanket on your head, and that's against the rules, I guess.
Sure, anything is against the rules that they deem. You know.
So when he saw you not taking the blanket off your head, that means he went and reported you to someone above him, and they're like, okay, go in and pull the blanket off of him.
Oh yeah, they all orchestrated this for sure. Above his level, I have all their names, but I could be doing strict handstand push-ups in there, and they're like, "Don't do that. That's dangerous for your head. You could slip." And if I don't stop doing it, that's also non-compliant. So again, that could be anything, you know.
And this is the cell also where they told you you're not allowed to eat your food while sitting on your bed. You have to sit on the floor and eat it.
Yes, yeah, and that was before all this, and that's what really pissed. This 20-year-old kid, his name's Lance Tan, same name as me. He don't know what he's doing, but he's like, dude, eat your food on the floor. I'm like, bitch, shut up, dude. Like, are you joking? Like, no. And I was not guilty. All this stuff that happened right here, I ended up not being guilty for all the charges, which is a full acquittal. And like substantially proven why I was not guilty. Not like, oh, we got a mixed match. No, like it's been proven in this first court-martial, that this was targeted, this was malicious, this was.
Why can't you have your blanket on your head? What would be the reason for that? In case you're committing suicide under there or something?
Sure. Yeah. Again, they don't like it. They don't like it.
All right.
They want you to be a puppet. They want you to be a puppet. That's what they're used to. Man. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Caleb.
Go for the way.
So who's going for the leg?
Are you choosing to be non-compliant? Are you choosing to be non-compliant? Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Let's go! Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Get on the fucking floor! Stop!
I don't see any furniture flipped over. I don't see any furniture.
Here comes his face get hit. My fist. Watch my right fist.
I'm going for his left arm.
Right there.
Stop resisting!
All right.
Stop resisting! You will get tagged! You will get tagged!
Just wait.
I got left cuff on. Stop resisting or you will get tagged!
Ankles on!
Do you hear me?
Do not move.
Do not move. You will get tagged!
No.
I got
Put it behind his back.
And this is all because you had a blanket on your head.
All right.
Yeah.
Hands the other arm.
Dude, my shoulder
Right,
hurts.
his right arm.
Yeah.
Give us your other arm!
I can't.
Stay down.
Right under his chest.
Stay down.
Dude.
Stay
Go
down.
for it.
Stay
And you
down.
were injured in this. Your knee and your shoulder got fucked up, right?
My left toe.
Yeah. I'll
My
explain that.
pinky, left toe.
Get the shots on.
Double lock. Little double lock? Yeah, they do. Get locked.
Stay down.
All right, check it.
All for having a blanket on your head. This is crazy.
All right. We're gonna stand there.
All right.
I do not understand why they're spending so many resources on you. I don't.
Or you want him to carry? You want him to carry him?
And you're saying is that it's ego and that they just want to make an example out of you.
Yeah, I'll explain more here too. So I guess the blanket on my head was like the icing on the cake, because they all know I'm not COVID vaccinated. You know, I'm belligerent. Like all of them have seen my record, and who knows what's been told to them. I'm an active shooter, targeting members, hostile, aggressive, you know, non-compliant. So this is all the narrative that is also within their head because of what's been told to them. And I should state too, since this is in the morning, I was arrested on April 10th at around noon. Okay, and they, I don't know if you guys can hear me well.
Yeah, we
Go
can
ahead.
hear you. Okay.
Yeah, so not only that, there's something significant that happened before that, and this is when I got into confinement on April 10th. Man, like they don't get a lot of people in this. This is in Cannon Air Force Base. This is segregation too. Isolated segregation confinement. Like no people were there ever throughout my time there. When they brought me to the Security Forces building, it was a hallway. Dude, like 20 people were like popping their heads out, like, oh, who? Like it's not a regular occurrence where people are getting arrested and thrown into freaking confinement, right? So they made a huge deal of this, and now all their little airmen can get real life training, OJT, on the job training, and they picked Senior Airman Kelly, who's actually cool. Me and him are cool now, but at the time I didn't know him, and he's just trying to showboat for his superiors, and he's yelling like, first of all, I just got tricked into going to this TTM, and in my head I'm like, you motherfuckers, like you guys just tricked my ass. Now I'm at the confinement center, so I'm pissed. I know it was all deceptive, but this little airman, young airman, I say little by his age, is like yelling, like it's basic training. He's like, "You will stand on my wall. Do you understand?" And I have to be like, "Affirmative, sir." Whatever. I'm making up an example, but I'm like, dude, whatever. Just like get the show on the road, whatever, dude. I'm not gonna freaking state what you want me to. Are you joking? Just keep going, keep going. So I was completely non-compliant in that aspect. Not to mention a paramedic came, they took my blood pressure, and I think it's in the records that it was like 178 over 110 or something. So they even brought me to the ER twice for that as well. So
you spent 66 days in that cell right there?
Yeah, dude, that sucked.
And you didn't talk, and did you get a chance to talk to anyone?
Other than the guards and phone calls with my fiance, no.
Did you have any reading materials in there or anything to write with?
Yeah. My fiance brought me books and stuff, but you can get released out of that cell, for good behavior from like 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So that room that they brought me to outside, that's like a little recreational area, and I could watch TV on there. I'll watch a lot of Shark Tank. I remember watching Shark Tank and keeping up on the crypto market with Bloomberg, checking XRP's price and everything.
Okay, and so after 66 days, when do you have your actual court case to address these 5 charges of being court-martialed?
Yeah, that would be in September. But let me hit this for 30 seconds. Let me try.
Okay, please.
Before that cell extraction, they strip searched me at like 9 o'clock at night in a chair. They restrained me to a chair, in a yellow ass restraint chair. 8 guys literally like held me down, put cuffs around my ankles, stripped me down, like they cut my clothes off. So I'm literally butt naked, and I was like fighting it. I was fighting it because I don't know, like
because you don't want to be held down by 8 guys.
Past PTSD experiences, of which they didn't even do what the strip search was. Let me rephrase that. They didn't do what was necessary for the strip search, even, which means they did a strip search to check for any objects, if you know what I mean, any whatever paraphernalia. They didn't even do that. So they got me butt naked. I guess it was a flex to show you what's up, like we're in charge of you. And then they let me dress, and then they put me in the cell at night around midnight, brush my teeth. They all watched me brush my teeth, and then I went to bed, and then I woke up, and that's what happened when I woke up, essentially. So yeah, okay. And quickly in this strip search, I'm literally yelling stuff like, "Oh, my commander is gonna pay," and then I say legally. I'm like, I'm coming for blood. All you guys, I'm coming for blood legally. Like I made sure to always say legally, right? Like I'm coming for blood legally. Like what can that mean? Respectfully through the court systems, like accountability will be had. If I didn't say legally, and I said legally because who knows how they could use that against me. They do use that against me. Like my PCRO hearing, pretrial confinement reviewing officer, Colin Lefevre. My pretrial hearing is on Friday, February 14th. And that's when you get your rigged, corrupt trial. Rigged and utterly corrupt. Even my ADC told me that these don't go well. They're incredibly biased. And
this is February of 2024 now?
Sorry, I messed up. I meant Friday, April 14th, 2023. Okay. Am I bad? No February. Okay. And this corrupt trial that I have in recording somewhere, he has all this evidence. He's reviewing all this evidence. And that's when the active shooter stuff he'll look at. He'll look at the insider threat. He like all this crap that they just fabricated. He's using as evidence, and now he's using the cell extraction as evidence. They alleged I broke that guy's nose, but I deviated his septum. It wasn't broken. Still, I hit him in the face, right? They're using that like I'm a threat, man. I'm a threat on paper to this base. I'm a massive flight risk, which means I don't even know how they stated I'm a flight risk, which means if they release me, I'm gonna escape to Mexico. They need to like they do whatever they can to falsify these reasons to hold you in pretrial confinement. It happened to me twice, is why I'm getting that, especially the second one. So that happened, and then the next day happened, which so you said this happened all because of the blanket on your head. And I should have said it happened due to everything that happened before, plus the blanket over my head, if that makes sense, you know.
Yeah. And then how did when you went to you eventually got all the court-martial charges dropped?
No, not dropped. Dropped is bad. Okay, so convicted is worse, dropped is second, and then full acquittal is like the creme de la creme, you know. They were acquitted, which means they were all investigated through the judge and discerned through her. They were acquitted. Okay, so I think that's what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah. And what month? And what month was that?
That's September 13th, 2023. Throughout the whole pretrial confinement, though, I was good. I was compliant. You know, I wanted TV time. So they gave me incentives. If you're good, we'll let you watch TV, blah, blah, blah. 66 days. I was released on June 14th, 2023, and immediately went into parental leave because my son was just born. So I missed the birth of my first son, Asher, who's now 2.5 in the living room here. But I missed his birth, and my commander wouldn't allow me to even be escorted to the hospital to witness it because he was emailing with my other ADC. I had 2 of them. Her name's RF, Sarah Ritikitan Frick. We call her RF. But he stated to her, I might be a threat to the hospital staff. Again, like from all his fictitious allegations, man. So I missed his birth. And again, when they picked me up off that ground there in the cell extraction, there was a puddle of blood. You would have to pause it to see it. And then the reason why I can prove my shoulder rotator cuff was torn in 2 and my MCL was torn as well is because I tell the medical staff that like, dude, my shoulder is hurting. My shoulder freaking hurts right now. My freaking everything's hurting, blah, blah, blah. And that's annotated in the record now. And I've never had shoulder injury. So what else could that have been from? Right. So I don't know. So anyway, I'm on parental leave throughout the summer. And again, they used flight risk, being a flight risk, as one of the reasons to keep me in pretrial confinement for those 66 days. When I'm on now parental leave in San Antonio, Texas from Clovis. So that's already a contradiction, you know? And again, they're using anything they can to have held me in pretrial confinement. And the judge, I had 2 judges. One retired right before my trial. His name's Lieutenant Colonel Elijah Brown. He literally took 2 days to write a detailed 30-day ruling on why I should be released. He did it correct. And I say that because the judge for my second trial, a year and a half later, Major Nathan Royer, now Lieutenant Colonel, he spends 30 days and writes 6 pages on BS, like just copy and pasting crap from my command. Like that, those are different contracts.
So wait a second. So you're acquitted on June 14th?
No, I was released on June 14th. Yeah.
And when were you acquitted? September 13th?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
But throughout that time, I'm on leave in a different state. That I
so if
come
you're
back.
if you're acquitted on September 13th, then everything, shouldn't you at that point everything be good and you just go back to work, or they give you your 20 years and you leave?
Exact same question, yeah, or an equivalent that you asked me earlier. When the vaccine was lifted, why didn't they just move me to Antarctica? Same exact thing. They're in too deep at this point. You know, they are in too deep. They keep doubling down, and I keep doubling down. So it's a chess match between us till this day. That's why I said
okay. So you get acquitted, and you're on parental leave in the summer of 2023. You come back from parental leave, you get acquitted. So now we're in September of 2023. What happens after that?
Well, I need to tell you this. The disrespect to Vasquez is the specification is he alleged I called him a domestic threat in his office from the Article 15 issuance. So again, it's on paper. Castle called me a domestic threat, air quotes, on February 6, 2023. Okay. I recorded that whole audio, posted it on my YouTube channel. If I didn't record that of when I started recording, I would have been screwed because
is that legal to record it? Is that legal?
It was for me because that's never been brought up. And they would have charged me with it if they could have. it definitely was legal because New Mexico and Texas are one-party consent states. And again, they never charged me for it. So luckily I got lucky on that. But 2 first sergeants were in the room, Isaac Crispin and Alexandria Serrano. They were taking notes on the meeting. So they took his back on me calling him alleged domestic threat, of which I didn't. That audio initially was played in court to authenticate between Vasquez and the court. He's like, yeah, that's me. And then the judge during recess, Colonel Vicky Marcus, goes back and listens to it. And then they had this old little meeting after it. That's on record.
How long is the recording? How long is the recording, Lance?
10 minutes. No, 25 minutes. Yeah, 25 minutes, I think.
And nowhere in there, aren't they embarrassed when she comes back and says, hey, you guys, he never said that.
So this was already mentioned in the opening.
Can they be
statement.
court-martialed for lying?
Yes, it's perjury. That's my goal here. But like, I'm close. I know I'm close. I need the right senator, the right congressman, or Pete Hegseth, or freaking like anyone that can. Like, if you were a SecDef, jackpot, man. I hit the freaking gold, whatever it's called. I hit the gold nugget with you. That needs. I'm close. You know, I know I'm close. It has to be because I'm not dropping this. But like, that's fictitious charges, man, and it's so crazy that was brought up. So they tried to be like, oh, okay, it wasn't in here. It was in an LOR. And he says domestic terrorism, blah, 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 blah. So now they're trying to hide it somewhere else. So the significance of that I have that in recording, and that might have been the only charge that would have stuck if not for my recording. And the assault on Poteet's nose, that was ruled as self-defense, I would imagine, because she found me not guilty on that, and I couldn't breathe. I was asphyxiated throughout. But the second specification was during the thing that I just mentioned before, the PTSD strip search. They charged me also with dislocating Senior Airman Kelly's knee.
I saw one of your other papers just really quick, and this is probably really sensitive, but on something you had posted on the internet, when you keep saying you had PTSD, you're referencing to something that happened to you when you were 10 years old, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw that on one of your videos or on one of your posts.
Yeah, it was a 16-year-old babysitter. She was in high school. I was 10 at the time. And, you know, you could just use your imagination, whatever. And she was my babysitter, right? But I don't think she was like 15, I think, or something. But yeah, that's what I'm referencing then. But now I got legit PTSD.
What happened to her? Did she ever get in trouble for that?
Lori? Oh, no, I don't. I'm over that. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But that is what you're referencing to when you say PTSD. You're not referencing something that happened to you in the military.
Correct. Yeah.
And you're saying because of this, what happened to you at 10, and if they know this, they obviously shouldn't be fucking tying you in a chair and cutting your clothes off.
Right.
Yeah.
Great judgment. Yeah. Great translation.
Okay.
So the assault charge really with Kelly, I was charged for dislocating his knee. They changed the verbiage to striking his knee with my leg, or striking his leg with my knee. First of all, they charged me with this. How did they not interview him for him to state before the trial that, yes, he hit my knee, right? Because during trial and under oath, he testifies that I never even touched him. He emphasized he never touched me. And for them to have the prosecution to have him as a witness and for them to be blindsided by that.
Is this in a second case? Is this in a second trial?
Still first.
Okay.
That's on my YouTube channel. That's insane. Like, what the F? So these are like fictitious charges. I don't know. Do you think that's severe or not? Like, I don't. Maybe I've said it so many times I don't know anymore. Like,
no. I get what you're saying. They're writing things down and then they're not even checking with the witnesses who were there. The guy who they're saying that you hurt is saying like, hey, he didn't even touch me there.
Yeah, his knee actually did dislocate, but guess what? It's dislocated 50 times prior from prior injury in high school, football, whatever you played. So it pops in and out. His knee did.
And now they're trying to subdue one of the fittest men on the planet in a jail cell. So obviously something good is going to happen.
Mexico, let's say in New Mexico. There's no way I can go against James Sprague, who I'm gonna send this video to. He's liked some of my stuff actually.
Okay, let's go back to September 2023. So the child's born, everything's done, and why can't you just go on your merry way at that point? Be like, wow, what a journey.
And not only that, I blew 30 grand on my civilian attorney to help me with this trial. And 30 grand because I had 10 grand in XRP that rose from 50 cents to $1.50 or whatever throughout that time. But now it's like at freaking $2, but it hit $3. So my 10 grand would have been like 80 grand at this point. But yeah, I had a civilian attorney, and it's rare for someone to even hire a civilian attorney, and I'm glad I did. Of which I rehired for the second trial, another 15,000. I'm blowing all money here to like defend.
But why blow the money? Why not just be like, all right, I'm good. I'm out of here. See you later.
Oh no! For the trial, I needed him because my
Oh,
ADC,
for the first trial.
yeah, my
Okay.
ADC only had like freaking 3 court-martials under her belt of like litigation. She's used to people pleading. They try so hard, man, to get their clients.
This is for the first case, Caleb. He spent 30 grand of his own money
Okay,
to make sure. Okay. And it worked. You got acquitted. But I want to know why on September 23rd, 2023, when it's all over, why don't they just like, why don't you just sit still and be like, okay, I have another year till I reach my 20 years and get out?
Why don't I? Sorry.
Why didn't you at that point just chill?
I
And just be
did.
like, you did.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it progresses again. So after that trial, I go on 2 weeks leave because me and my fiance and our young son at that time are driving back and forth from Clovis, New Mexico to San Antonio, Texas, which is like a 12-hour drive. Like we've done that like 3 times back then, total of 8 times now. But throughout that leave, I'm in San Antonio again. I call my first sergeant calls me. His name's Clint Collins. The new first sergeant, it goes from Alexander Serrano to Isaac Crispin to now Clint Collins. Okay. He calls me and he gives me the breakdown. He's like, hey, I talked to the wing commander. He literally name drops Colonel Jeremy Bergen. And again, it goes squadron commander and then group commander, the big dog above him. And the group commander is in charge of multiple squadrons. And then the wing commander is a base commander for that base, and he's in charge of the whole base, of everybody, He says, I talked to Colonel Bergen and Colonel Rose. So he name drops them that I have for evidence. And check this out. He says that they've decided that they're going to put you back in the same squadron so you don't feel reprised and retaliated against. First of all, that's gaslighting 101. That doesn't even make freaking sense. That doesn't make effing, oh my God, it makes me mad just thinking about that stuff. Wouldn't it make sense? We're going to not put you back in the squadron so you don't feel retaliated against. But the fact that they don't even ask me, And the reason why they threw me back in the squadron is because my ADC was trying to talk on my behalf and advocate for me of where they could put me. Because she thought I was going to be PCS. Like completely changed bases at this point. Because it was proven in that trial that, again, all these fictitious, like it would make sense that they're going to gun after me again, right? Like any normal person would think that. So everything was denied. My PCS was denied. They try to say I don't have retention time in the Air Force left, which was bullcrap. I had a year and a half left. And anything in the Air Force is waiverable. So anyone could have waived it. Any commander could have waived it. And she tried letting me work at the chaplain, at the gym, on base, any way away from my squadron, And that's when he states, Clint Collins, that they're going to throw me back in the same squadron so I don't feel retaliated again. And I was pissed. I was like, crap.
And
so
this is in September of 2023.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I reported to work on October 3, 2023.
Okay. So a couple weeks later. Okay. So you report back to this, what's the name of it again? Cannon.
27 SOLRS Squadron, Cannon Air Force Base, Clovis, New Mexico, under the command of Lieutenant Colonel freaking Enrique Vasquez, who now is Brent Esque, who was evolved into him because he's a successor. But in between that was an intermittent commander, Nalisha Abduali, who I'm going to gun for as well. Check this out. Legally.
What was that lady's name?
Nalisha Abduali. And they all become complicit again because Vasquez gets his freaking claws into everyone. And he spins this narrative. And I'm going to explain how too. Like they all believe. But to their credit and devil's advocate, why wouldn't they believe a freaking lieutenant colonel over a now demoted senior airman who has active shooter in his PIF, like all this crap against me? They failed by not investigating. That's what they did. They failed by not, and I sent them so many links too. They failed by not investigating. Now they're all in trouble because they're all complicit. And they're all accomplices to how this now is. And I told you January 2023 is when this takes off, which I was correct on, but like now this starts to spiral out of control after my first court-martial because now we're entering like the second phase of this. I report back to the same squadron. I literally told my fiance I need to be recording everything. If I'm ever court-martialed again, and that was kind of satire when I told her that, if I'm ever court-martialed again, they're never gonna win because I'm gonna. Yeah, it actually happened, and I have all the evidence. And the only way they won was you're not going to believe the incredible amount of deception that happened for them to win, and we'll get into that hopefully.
Okay, so you report back October 3rd.
Yep, and I have a meeting with my commander Vasquez, who just charged me for all the previous stuff that he's now testified on the stand. Crazy bogus allegations, and he gave his tone. Right? You get to hear his tone and his words used. Like the judge was no dummy, obviously. But I'm in these meetings with him throughout October with his command staff, and bunch of bullcrap. All that audio is on my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to telework here. I'm trying to telework because I also have now I have a mental health accommodation from, I forgot to mention this. I saw a therapist in San Antonio before my trial, who is the actually same one that you brought up. That was the text messages from her of the incident back then. But that text message is recent of her telling me about the incident back then. I don't want to name drop because I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be comfortable with that. But yeah, out of respect for her, unless I already did, I'm sorry. But anyway, and they're all stating in this meeting, like, my commander, he's like, why would I give you telework when you weren't reporting to work? It doesn't make sense. Like he's retarded, respectfully, because I wasn't reporting to work because of the proven hostile work environment that is now proven throughout the trial, you know. But again, he's just like so lost in his own little narrative. Man, I don't know. I think he's highly incompetent.
Okay, but let me get you back on track. So October 3rd, then you have meetings all throughout October, and they tell you have to work on the base. You can't telework.
In the squadron, not just like in their squadron. Yeah, and I start to create a paper trail of emails. Like my old subordinates are coming up to me asking me, where were you? We thought you were all AWOL. So I'm having to relive everything, explain everything. Like everything I'm explaining today is how I had to explain everything to them back then. Every day, to every new person. You know, I was getting tedious and upsetting. Not that I'm upset here. I'm happy to do it here for sure. So in late October, we have a TTM. Finally, a TTM of everyone involved. I recorded the mental health flight commander, Major Rachel Wiley, states in it that I recorded that she had no involvement in the meeting that transpired before my arrest. And I like blamed her. I was like, you helped with nothing, ma'am. Like you could have told them, bring me to the TTM. And then that's when she said, to be fair, Lance, I didn't state anything throughout that meeting. She literally stated she was silent. I was like, that's even worse for you to remain silent on it and not throw in your 2 cents as a mental health flight commander advocate. Are you joking? So, and then she also tells me tons of telework opinions of her of why it wouldn't be conducive. She says, I need to not be isolated. I need to, it's called, I forgot what it's called. It's called progressive something. It's like a treatment. Like it's progressive, whatever.
They're trying to socialize you. Hey, we're trying to bring you back in.
With my abusers. Like that doesn't even make freaking sense. Yes, that would work if they didn't have any involvement, but like she's all in on. They're all in on it. Is why like it's over.
Okay, so they bring you back in, and do you show up to work and you start working in November?
No. So I get out of that TTM. They asked me if I want to go to Laurel Ridge Treatment Center, which is a inpatient/outpatient military treatment facility in San Antonio, Texas. And I said, hell yes, to the outpatient, not inpatient, because that's like you're locked up. So outpatient, and it's just 8 hours a day of therapy. Everyone's in a circle.
So you're not even So in November, you're not even working. You're just doing therapy.
November, December, and January, I was there for. So it's 3 months in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, so now we're in January of 2024, and everything has gone smooth. You're doing your therapy. Everything's chill. Okay.
Here's the biggest one. December of 2023, my therapist, Vanessa Ramirez, who was great back then, we decided to have a TTM with Vasquez. And like, what is the plan going to be when I come back? And we record it, right? Thankfully, we record this. And she was in on it. So like 10 minutes in the conversation, he asks her if I can leave. Of which I do. I don't care because we're recording. And he doesn't know. Like, he doesn't even think what if about possibility he's recording. So he asked me to leave, and he starts lying to her. And again, my record of trial hasn't been released yet. I can't prove the transcribe or the testimony of anything he said. And he's telling her, like, he wasn't reporting to work. Do you not understand? Like, he wasn't reporting to work when it's been, like, again, proven in court. And he's like, oh, here's the biggest one. He tells her, actually, and I wanted to read this to you. Actually.
So she's recording it without him knowing. He thinks you've left and you won't hear it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was recording, and she was okay with me recording it.
You left your recorder in the room when you left.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
God, this
he literally so this is him showing her his unlawful command influence of not agreeing with the judge's verdict. Like I just received a full freaking acquittal. Oh my gosh, I need to tell you something after that. A full freaking acquittal, dude. And he's told her this. I'm going to read this to you. He says, I understand that, whatever, but that is the consequences of the decisions that he made. I understand that during his court-martial, he was found not guilty, but what the judge decided, her reasoning, that is nowhere. I don't know what was her reasoning. It could have been, hey, Castle, this serves another opportunity. So maybe that's why she said he's not guilty. I don't know. There are no records. We did not get access to anything or any of the reasoning that the judge had. The reason why he is in the position that he is in is based on the consequences of his decisions. So zero remorse, zero anything. Like he's still in the right, in his head.
So that's quite some spin. You get acquitted from all your court martials, and he's saying, I don't know why you got acquitted.
If that doesn't prove the retaliation of what's to come after this date, December 15th, 2023, of when he stated that, like, I don't know what will, because that's like blatant retaliation.
Okay, so January 2024, do you go back to the base and back to your squadron?
Yep. So I go back. We get a house in Clovis. Like I had the Penske truck, everything, all my belongings back and forth. Pay on my own money because Air Force didn't help with any of the moving because I wasn't an official PCS. It wasn't orders. So like I've spent tons of money on just fighting them against this, but it's fine. Like there's been tons of people donating, man. Like it's great too in that aspect. Like, and why would someone donate to someone they don't know other than hearing their story? I would think it's because they empathize or sympathize with that person. It's the only thing I could think of, right? Like that's their way of getting at the system or through me to help me.
But let's stay on the timeline. So January 2024, you go back to work.
Yeah, before I leave San Antonio, I also have another TTM with now the group commander, Colonel Roche. Exact same things happen. He tells Vanessa Ramirez his opinions of, he literally states, I'm paraphrasing these, but he's like, what did he say? He's like, I understand that you were found not guilty, but like there was a lot of charges and allegations that led to that court-martial that weren't articulated, that weren't. So he's trying to state that everything in my PIF is substantiated because it's in my PIF that weren't brought up in trial. Zero discernment again on his end, and boom, there's a retaliation on his end too. And they even promised me I'm going to be changing squadrons when I report back. I'm going to be underneath the ops group, which is why I came back. I wouldn't have came back if they told me. Yeah, this is another important detail. I wouldn't have came back if they told me you're going to be reporting right back to the same squadron. So they lied to me and said you're going to be going under the ops group, which is a completely different squadron. And the chief who talked in this meeting, Jessica Baldwin, she literally states in this meeting that the primary necessity is to remove him from anyone who had involvement with the first trial. Like that, which makes sense. So I report back end of January or mid-January 2024. I take a lot of leave, setting up the house 2 weeks or whatever. Anyway, and then I report to her office. She's my new supervisor. Oh my gosh. Which actually on paper, Master Sergeant Carey was still my supervisor. And during the first trial, I forgot to mention, everyone stated that my supervisor was changed. They're like, we changed his supervisor and he still didn't report back to work, when Carey then testified that he was still my supervisor. And then the judge cross-examined everyone. Did he know his supervisor was changed? And everyone said, no, we forgot to tell him. And then Vasquez literally stated,
this is a shit show. Okay, so February 2024, right. You report back to your new boss.
Yeah, Jessica Baldwin, who was name dropped by Vasquez in the first court-martial, who was in the meeting. I didn't even know this at the time when I reported to her. Her and Roche were in the meeting that took place right before I was arrested. Like, are we going to go through with this? And Vasquez name dropped him. Name dropped people from mental health, security forces, OSI, all these people, like 10 people that were involved in my first arrest. So yeah.
And how did that go? So you get back to work.
Yeah, I get back to work. So now they move me offices technically. So they move me offices, buildings, really, as an alternate duty location. Okay, so they gave me an alternate duty location, but it's a fake alternate duty location because I'm literally 20 feet away from now Barry Roche, Vasquez's superior, who had involvement with my first trial, who signed my arrest.
I remember. Yep.
Yeah, he signed my arrest 48-hour memo. So he's complicit. But they're going to say this is an alternate location, and this is in February of 2024. And this gets really important with the timeline to come. And now I finally get surgery for my shoulder. I got an MRI. It shows I had 2 tears in my rotator cuff. I get a shoulder surgery, and I'm on like 8 weeks convalescent leave. So that was nice, you know.
February, March, April. So now we're in April of 2024, and you show up to work after your surgery.
Yeah, and I checked in, and now I learned that they moved me offices upstairs. Okay, and they moved me offices because now I wrote an Article 138 complaint on Vasquez, and I go ham on this. I'm literally, it's an 80-page freaking.
So you're back. You're back 1 week, and you're already writing a complaint against Vasquez.
No, not 1 week. This is March of 2024. So I'm back 3 months now.
And why do you write? What's the complaint say towards Vasquez?
Oh yeah, because I received my record of trial, and I received all the audio when the court-martial was happening. When that court-martial was happening, it's hard to digest it as it's happening in live moments. So I went back and listened to all the audio recordings late January of 2024. I received in a CD disc, and I'm like bombshell shocked. I was like, holy crap, he actually stated that? Yeah, I kind of remember that. So I write an article complaint solely on that and what he told my therapist of what I just read you, of him not essentially agreeing with the judge's verdict.
Right.
Like you can't not agree with the judge's verdict. Oh my gosh, like it's crazy. So that's what the Article 138 complaint is on. And I literally talk about Colonel Roche in there. I'm like, he could have easily stopped all this with the Article 15 appeal. He did zero investigative journalism, let's just say. And I'm just bashing, legally, respectfully bashing. And then Jessica Baldwin tells me, either in an audio recording that I have with her, I have over like 250 audio recordings that I'm still going back and uploading to YouTube privately just so I could get the transcribe, put it into Grok. And I'm like, Grok, find me everything. And then I, even with text messages. So like, this is a work in progress. She tells me that they're going to move me upstairs to the FSS Force Support Squadron as another alternate duty location because she doesn't want Colonel Roche, or she doesn't want me feeling any ill feelings towards Colonel Roche. So that's a retaliation towards the Article 15. That's not an alternate duty location by any means. So I'm now moved up there, and man, I'm around civilians again. And now my new civilian boss does not stop talking about himself. He wants to tell me, like, I'm talking about.
So this is April now. So you made the complaint towards Vasquez in 2024, and now in April you're moved to with civilians.
Yeah, late March 2024, I made the complaint, and April I moved upstairs to a civilian office called the FSS, of which my boss.
When you make a complaint like that, Lance, sorry to interrupt. Do they ever respond, or they just tell you they got it?
So, yeah, he acknowledged it, which was great, but he had 30 days to respond to it, and he denied it. And he doesn't know anything about the law. Obviously, he deals with SJA for that. So whatever they tell him, he does, like a puppet on that. And SJA told him to deny it untimely. And for it to be legally untimely means it had to fall outside of a 30-day window of the findings, not of when it happened, of the findings. And I verbatim wrote in Article 5, or the Article 138 complaint, that the findings was on, January 25th or whatever I wrote. When I listened to the audio recordings, February, March, April, which is not within 90 days, like March, January, February, March. That's within like 60 days, definitely under 90 days, right, of the audio recording.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know
so nothing happens. So nothing happens from the complaint to Vasquez. They throw it out saying it wasn't timely, but it was timely. They had they misinterpreted what the timing was, and then you get in April 2024, you get moved up to the civilian guy who won't shut the fuck up, telling you how big his dick is.
Exactly. And that shit is annoying. He's nice, but dude, I don't have the patience at this point to listen to all his what's it called, awards and accomplishments. Like, I don't care, dude. Like, you got the vaccine, you don't care anything about it. That's bad. That's a bad way to supervise. Anyway, so I now get knee surgery in this month, and I'm on convalescent leave again for a torn MCL from the cell extraction. Yep.
How long are you on recovery for that?
I was on till late May, so I don't know how many weeks that is. To late May, of which I've seen throughout the documents that they tried to like edit it, saying it was like mid-May, which would leave me unaccounted for like 2 weeks, but that never was an issue, so whatever. But late May, okay, so for early May, I'm starting to schedule a TTM. I still haven't had a legit TTM. Like when I report back to work end of May, what's it gonna be? I can't cope. You know, like I'm punching walls at my house. Actually, I'm diagnosed with PTSD from Laurel Ridge now, not just because of what happened when I was 10, but now because of the unlawful, proven deceptive court-martial. You know, like I have PTSD symptoms. At first, obviously, you have PTSD symptoms before you're diagnosed with PTSD, obviously, but they're denying telework, they're denying everything. They're like trying to manipulate the whole system. They're calling me manipulative, you know. So yeah, I try to schedule a TTM. One scheduled for late May. It's scheduled. My chief, Jessica Baldwin, is like, I'm gonna be there. Oh, I got you. I'm there for you. And I tried to get everyone in on this. And I know how important this is going to be, you know, because I'm going to articulate and advocate for myself. No one wants to be a part of this. The new commander, okay, Vasquez, is now.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. They're terrified.
I know, like no one wants to look into this faithfully, like not in good faith at all. So the new commander is intermittent commander, Captain Abdulwali. Back then, she's now major, who testifies for the second trial. That is going to get crazy now. Golly, she's like, I can't go there. It's an AFSOC family day. Who cares? Like, you're a freaking captain getting paid big bucks. Like, take off your family day and come to this meeting. They canceled my TTM the day before my TTM. That was a month in advance scheduled. They canceled this freaking meeting that I wanted, I need. So now I report back to work with no TTM. Like it's crazy. I'm unhinged, I guess. I messaged the new freaking first sergeant, Matthew Cahoon. The guy who had his phone was something Noel. And it's like I'm recording everything. So again, when I get all these audio recordings uploaded and transcribed, I'm going to point out the big ticket items for Grok and write congressional inquiries even more so on this stuff. But they canceled my TTM, and now I'm ordered CDE, which is a commander directed evaluation, a mental health evaluation. Now I'm now.
Is this in July? Is this in July of 2024?
Late May, still 2024. And I think about it. I'm hesitant. I'm like, all right, let's do this. I'm gonna record the whole thing anyway. So let's do this. And I learned that was from the wing commander. He testified a year later that was from him. So all these little informations throughout years now, I'm piecing together that it wasn't her, of which she states that it was from her. And as soon as Vasquez was on terminal leave, she does this when he didn't do it because he thought it would be retaliation. Like they're trying to protect themselves. So she does it because the wing commander.
Why was he on terminal leave? Did he get cancer or something?
Retiring 20 plus years or whatever. Yeah, and I can only imagine that they know what happened. They're not going to discipline him, but maybe that is the disciplinary side of him. Like, you're going to retire, you're not going to re-enlist again in command with what you just did. So we're going to force retire you, as if that's a punishment. You tell me. I don't know. But so my CDE, which took over 2 days, you're not going to believe this. I'm diagnosed with freaking delusional disorder, legit. What's that? DSM-5 criteria, delusional disorder, man. Crazy stuff. Persecutory type. I feel I'm being persecuted with no evidence. And I looked up the definition to be diagnosed at and the symptoms. And it's like, you have to believe you're being persecuted against with delusions that aren't happening. Like everyone around the room. There we go. Persistent false beliefs that one is being plotted against. Exactly. And I'm being plotted against. I'm being harassed, poisoned, all that stuff. But now the mental health evaluator, again, this is called weaponization. She's weaponized, and they try to counter it. As again, it's a massive chess match. They counter by getting her from a different squadron to do the mental health evaluation of the squadron that I was at, the 26 STS. And during the interview, she's like, "Wait, I know you," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know you too." So she's not even a non-biased. Like, we know each other, but they're like, this is our attempt for his mental health evaluation to occur.
Is that reasons for discharge with that kind of evaluation?
Medical discharge, yes, which is a great discharge. That's probably like 100% disability, if not close to it.
So why don't they discharge you now in June or July after that evaluation?
they're going to use this to their benefit. Like you think it's nutty now, they're going to start using this to their benefit. So not only with that, she also diagnosed me with IED, which is intermittent explosive disorder, and oh my gosh, she also diagnosed me. She's like, no, I don't agree, it's PTSD. So the clinic that just referred me to a 11-week outpatient military treatment program just diagnosed me with PTSD, of which I come back and they're like, no, we don't agree. That's why they referred me out there, because they don't have the tools necessary to properly conduct if I have PTSD from what had happened from my first court-martial and the cell extraction, right? But they're just, dude, it's like playing chess with someone who's cheating and you can't do anything about it, or competing with someone in a CrossFit competition whose judge is in on it and they're like double counting reps, and the event organizer, they're all friends. Like, there's nothing you can freaking do about it, man. At that point, you know? Yeah, that would be a shitty situation if that happened. But I'm diagnosed with intermittent explosive disorder. She takes away my PTSD and now diagnosed me with unspecified trauma stressor-related disorder. She clearly articulates to me that is in no way less or severe than it's equivalent to PTSD. It's just the onset of how it occurred is unspecified. When I clearly told her it's from the cell extraction, it's from, like, you know, like, it's obviously y'all can see through it, I'm sure. And then they hit me with narcissism. He's narcissistic personality disorder, because he's always coming into the clinic and demanding his telework. He's demanding to telework, but they leave out, I'm demanding my accommodation recommendations from freaking mental health providers.
Okay, so let's move into June, July. You have the knee surgery, you recover, you're back in May. June, you have these meetings, and then July. What happens in July?
June, July, it's insane. Barry Roche is now, we're now PCSs, and he's replaced with that one guy you showed earlier, Stuart Churchill. And he immediately starts hammering. And that tells me that Colonel Roche did nothing about it due to it looking like retaliation. It would look like retaliation on paper. If someone like Stuart Churchill comes in and takes the reins, it would look less like retaliation. Whatever. So he starts hitting me hard with paperwork of, oh my gosh. He first hits me with an LOR for an encounter that I had with First Sergeant Tanner Ike, who is now the first sergeant from January 2024 and onward. So again, it evolved from Collins to now Ike. Golly, this guy is so bad, heavily conflicted. So so I went to mental health clinic for something. I think I needed to sign for something for the release of my records to give to my first sergeant, or to get to Cahoon, another first sergeant. So I had two first sergeants. Okay, yeah, this gets crazy. So I had two first sergeants, Cahoon. Okay, and in this freaking encounter with Ike, he provokes heavily the shit out of me, man. So he doesn't know anything that's going on. My duty hours have been changed from DeMarcus Hunt, who's the SEL, senior enlisted leader, for the squadron commander, who was Derek Boyd, who PCS'd immediately. Yeah. So anyway, he's like, hey, I need you to come to my office at 1 o'clock today, and I need you to sign for something. I forgot what it was for. Oh, an LOC. I received an LOC before that from Vasquez for a missed payment for my TLF that I was staying in.
What's a TLF?
A temporary lodging facility. That was 3 times the rate of my BAH, which was crazy. Like, I was under the impression that I would be PCSing, and that TLF would be paid for.
Is this in July? Are we in July?
I'm jumping back, sorry, to October of 2023. That whole month I was at the TLF with my family. Okay, we'll move back. But there's 3 times the BAH rate. So if my BAH is 1,200,
TLF is like living in a hotel,
yeah.
And so a hotel generally is going to be more expensive than renting a house.
So I owe $3,600 or whatever, 3 times the rate, which I couldn't have paid. I didn't pay at the time because, like, dude, I'm doing all my own moves. I'm freaking paying for my own attorney. Are you joking? Like, you guys just. And I was demoted to senior airman, obviously, for an NJP before the trial. That also had, I forgot to tell you, that also had a 2-month pay deduction of half month's pay. Like, it was a whole financial crisis back then. So anyway, now we jump back to where we're at.
So they're getting you for non-payment and for something that happened a year earlier. Okay, this Stewart guy is.
And emails are going on now, man. Like I'm CCing the wing commander on my rebuttals. I'm like, how can he even write this when my rebuttal to this is extenuating? First of all, my first trial was extenuating. Like I did commit AWOL, sure, but that was extenuating the circumstance. Like you would commit murder if someone broke into your house at the middle of the night trying to kill your family. You murdered him, but it's self-defense. You killed him.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So let's keep, but I want to keep moving forward. I want to figure out where we're at today.
Okay.
So I want to try to make it to January or December of 2025. So from July, let's pick up in July of 2024.
July 2024. Yeah, the new commander comes. Stuart Churchill hits me with an LOR for the interaction with Ike. And again, Ike was provoking me at mental health. He's like, you will report to my office at 1. And that's what time I got off. Calhoun and Hunt made my duty hours from 9 to 1, which was really helpful. Like as an accommodation to the stressors of the base. Like every time I went through that gate, I thought I was going to be arrested because that's where it happened. So I got legit PTSD symptoms now from my.
And I did see the video where they harass you at the gate when you come through. I did see that. So I respect that. I respect what you're saying when you say that you thought you were going to be arrested because
that was this year, actually. That was October of this year. So again, like we're like that almost happened again. And I asked them, am I being arrested? And they're like, we don't know yet, because me trying to go onto Lackland shows on my ID card that that I have a no contact order on Canon, and they have to see if I'm wanted. Like, dude, that's crazy. So back to July though, he writes me an LOR for the Ike incident, and I told this guy, like, dude, no, I get off at 1. You didn't schedule any of this with me. You didn't give me any advance time. No, I can't come. And he's like, you will come. You will report at 1. And I was like, dude, get away from me, sir. Get away from me. He literally steps up and like bows to me. Bows up, and he's like, you will report to 1. I'm paraphrasing everything. It's on my YouTube channel, the whole audio. He's like, and in my Instagram, he's like, you will report to my office at 1. And I smelled his breath. It was so close to me, it was a coffee breath. And I yell, but I keep it suppressed. And I remember I was like, I forgot what I said actually. I was like, oh, he's like, do you understand me, airman or whatever? I was like, no, I don't. And like, man, I just got diagnosed with intermittent explosive disorder, and this guy's gonna provoke me like that. When I'm at the mental health clinic trying to do something else that didn't involve.
So you don't show up for the meeting, and you get written up.
Yeah, he says, this freaking guy Ike, he's like, I leave. I literally just leave the freaking clinic. I leave the base, and he follows me all the way to my car, and he's like, security forces is en route. Oh, and before that, he was like, if you don't back away from me, I'm going to apprehend you myself. So he's literally threatening me with freaking assault, because physical touch is assault.
Because you wouldn't attend a 1 p.m. meeting when you were off duty. Okay.
And he didn't even know. And he wasn't my first sergeant. And he's like, I am your first sergeant. And he wasn't, because the judge will end up declaring a year and a half later that he wasn't my first sergeant. Calhoun was. It's called in the execution of your office. So like that LOR that's still in my PIF needs to be investigated, because it says in there from Churchill. Okay, we'll go to July. Churchill. The first day I ever meet this new guy, Churchill, Colonel freaking Churchill, man. The first time I ever meet him is under an LOR. And I was like, yeah, no, dude, this is not a good start for any of us. He didn't even like let me hear. He didn't hear my side of it or anything. So yeah, he's what's it called.
So do they arrest you in August of 2024 at your car, or July?
No, I literally got off the base before they were able to close it down. Actually, I remember as I was driving off base, I looked in the rear view and they put a cone in the exit, like literally 10 seconds right when I left. And I was on the phone with my first sergeant, who I recorded, so I could prove all this still. Like, they just closed the base down due to that. Like, who knows if they would have arrested me right there. But they end up using that. I was threatening.
So you come to work. So when do you get arrested next?
Yeah. Well, oh my gosh, the way how I get arrested. Okay, that's July 19th, 2024. So we're actually close. So many things happened right before that. So yeah, that first meeting with Colonel Churchill, my ADC advised me to stay silent. Like, do not say anything. He's going to try to provoke you more and get you for more stuff. So I remain silent, and I'm just staring at him, mad dogging him. I can't not do that when I'm angry with him, and just mad dogging him. And that he later claimed I was disrespectful. I refused to salute him. If you refuse to salute your commander, you could be charged with that for disobeying or disrespect. But I'm not going to salute tyranny. Absolutely not, So I refused to salute him or give a reporting statement. I walked in, walked out, got my LOR, did my rebuttal, and I sent that rebuttal to the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General David Alvin, who did nothing. I sent it to both secretaries of the Air Force, as I already mentioned, Melissa Dalton, Kendall.
Well, dude, they're not going to have time to go through all this.
Yeah,
This thing has like, so we're 2.5 hours in. If I could give you just some feedback, this has got to be able to be condensed down to like 30 minutes.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? Like your story.
Yeah. I cannot believe it's been that long. I cannot believe that.
So,
Okay, sorry.
So what happens between? So when? Let's go to when you get arrested again.
Okay. So the reason why I was arrested. Okay. So June 26th is when I declare to my wing commander in a text message, because I have his text through an email, and not only just through I texted, I added like 10 people to the text message of leadership. Right, all multiple leaders. I tell them, sir, I respectfully cannot report back to Cannon Air Force Base anymore due to these reasons. I'm being retaliated again. I'm being reprised against. Mental health being weaponized. The fact that no TTM happened after those diagnoses are huge. I even asked Churchill in a meeting, what are my diagnoses? Because he ordered me to go back to work and blah blah blah. He changed my hours back to 8 to 5 or whatever, from 9 to 3. That was changed from 9 to 1. So he completely got rid of any accommodation that anyone has ever done for me, Calhoun and Hunt. After I was just diagnosed with delusional and IED and all that crap. So I asked him, sir, what are my diagnoses? And he says, I believe it's just IED, if I'm not mistaken. So he didn't even know the other ones, and I have that in recording. And after that, I was like, this guy's ineffective to lead. I know what they're doing here. They want me to have like an outburst at work or something so they could freaking arrest me. I don't know.
So you tell them you won't go back to work on June 26th, and when do they arrest you?
July 19th. And
do they come get you at home?
Yeah. The civilian police department got me at home. But the biggest also reason is
and that's for being AWOL?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And he ordered me to no longer be able to audio record. Now this is the perfect checkmate in back then. So I can't audio record. And I told him, this is what saved me from my first trial. So if I go into base, of which I was being frisked as well, if I'm caught audio recording at any time, I don't know if they have security forces at these meetings that I was having with him, I can be arrested and detained, is what my first sergeant told me. So I'm screwed. And if I don't audio record and they frisk me and I'm not audio recording and they got my phones, they could make up whatever because it already happened to me. Holy crap, dude, I'm screwed.
Yep.
So I think option 3, I refuse to go onto base and I submit congressional inquiries, freaking complaints to the AFSOC general. Hopefully someone will help. Not a single person helps in a leadership capacity.
When they arrest you on July 19th, how long do they keep you?
8.5 months.
You were back in that cell for 8.5 months again?
So I was never back in that jail specifically because they closed that base down due to how unlawful the unlawful actions happened. That was revealed in court actually for the second time. But that jail was closed, so they moved me to Roosevelt County, Portales, New Mexico, for a month in segregation. And this is like civilian. This is civilian, dude. So I'll give you the dates. It was July 19th to March 27th, 2025. But they transferred me all over the place. So I end up being in 3 different brigs.
So you don't get out of jail until March of 2025?
March 27, 2025. And at the conclusion of my court-martial, which I was convicted. I'm currently convicted on paper. But how crazy is this going to be when I win my appeal? Because I'm almost...
When is your appeal?
Dude, the appeal process is disgusting. First of all, it takes 5 months for your damn case to be docketed. That means when you receive your record of trial. And once it's docketed, that's when the clock starts. So it was docketed August of 2022 this year. And they have up to 18 months, technically. 18 months.
You mean August of 2025?
Yeah, August 22 of 2025.
Oh.
It was docketed. So it's almost been 10 months.
So when you got out on March 27th, did you ever go back to work? Have you been back on the base since March of 2020, since you've been arrested?
Yes. I've been back on the base for my mental health intake with a new therapist, and I told her this whole story, and I still don't have her diagnoses.
How long did it take you to tell her this whole story?
I think 2 hours, 3 hours. But I'm giving you so much more details. Holy crap.
Okay, and so now what's your status?
It's
Do they have a
called appellate leave, and it's a non-pay status until the conclusion of your appeal. So again, let's say it takes 2 years for my appeal to go through, hypothetically, and let's say my appeal comes back as successful. I could get 2 years of back pay. That's insane, and retire and get disability. So like it's extremely dire of this appeal. Yeah.
So do you have a court case now, a date for your first appeal appearance?
No. So I hired a civilian attorney for initially $7,000. I'd rather not say his name because he was somewhat nice to me, but it was offered to me from my same appeal. I mean, from my civilian attorney from the trial, both trials, and I've learned a lot. It's called ineffective assistance of counsel. He doesn't want to touch IAC claims from Dan Conway from my trial that I have tons of evidence of tons of IAC claims that he didn't effectively do. Like he gave me false information. He didn't zealously investigate crap. Like dude, it's so bad. It's so bad.
That's the government appointed attorney.
No. This was they did appoint me the same one, Tirado, which was fine. I always had her, but this was the same civilian attorney from the first one. And my mistake was I thought he was so good from the first trial, but my mistake was the judge was so good. The judge was amazing, and we all got lucky because of that. My current judge for the second one was utterly corrupt, and I'll explain reasons how. But my attorneys, man, I was in jail for that long too, and I couldn't do crap. I couldn't review crap on my own. It was a tough time.
I can't believe you were in jail for 9 months for going AWOL. Is that the normal amount?
No, dude, absolutely not. You should have speedy trial rights within 4 to 6 months, I think. But my ADC kind of tricked me into accepting it for that long because I thought they were going to have more time to investigate all this crap, but they didn't. They wing it. My civilian attorney winged it along with my ADC. And it's because of the heavy burden of how many clients my ADC has. It's more quality, not quantity, or some more quantity.
Has your appeal been accepted?
It hasn't even been submitted yet. So my civilian attorney that I hired for $7,000, I fired him recently because he doesn't listen to me. Like I asked him, I'm calling other attorneys too, like other civilian attorneys, and bumping information, and now I'm bumping it with Grok and all this crap, and he's lying to me. Another civilian that I talked to, he said that he could re-interview witnesses from the trial, my second court-martial, to point to contradictions, to clear up contradictions. And anyway, I asked him that. I was like, would you be willing to re-interview witnesses? And he's like, no, we're not going to re-interview witnesses. We don't need to do that. I was like, and he just like, no, he's not listening. And he doesn't want to touch anything that smears his boss, which was my civilian attorney. So they're in the same office, and he's not touching anything else. So anyway, I requested my money back. They tried fighting it, but luckily I had all the audio recordings that could prove all the claims that I'm stating. And they ended up returning my $7,000 back then that I've already used for rent. Like I'm blowing through my crypto and for like rent. Oh my God, I didn't tell you one of the biggest bombs. Damn. And then my ADC, or no, my appeals attorney, a new military appeal, I fired her too because she sucks, man. Like that's how good I'm getting at researching this crap. She told me, all right, this is what I should tell you this right now. So my first court-martial, it was a full acquittal. Like, please add this. All my dispositions, like your results are dispositions. They submit the dispositions to the FBI CJIS database. The SJA does. I'm obviously with input through your command. I would think they falsified all my dispositions from the first trial. It should have said full acquittal across the board. Assault, acquittal, disrespect, acquittal, right? These guys, SJA, Lieutenant Colonel Sean McGarvey or whatever, in my command, they put assault as withdrawn and dismissed, which is extremely inaccurate because that under context means that prosecution dropped it because there's no evidence to try him on. Like crazy BS. And that's huge. If you grok that, that's huge. That's like crazy. And what's crazier is the other 4 charges, they all state not criminally prosecuted. So it's not like they all accidentally say not criminally prosecuted. Like there's different distinct factors, but not criminally prosecuted is also prosecution dropping it. But that would be them prosecuting it before charges were filed. So it's just a little time.
So there's no end to this story yet.
Right. And I found that out in October of this year when I went to go to my job interview. I was trying to get hired by Bexar County, Bear County or whatever, to be a correctional officer just for the whole appeal, just to get some extra dough. And they denied me the job opportunity. And they literally told me, we don't care about your second trial, that I was convicted for disrespect and AWOL. They said the fact that your first court-martial here in the record state that your assault was withdrawn and dismissed, it still could show that you committed the charge, but maybe the victim dropped the charge against you. So I'm sorry, like we can't deal with any risk of assault. And I was like, wait. I was acquitted of that charge. I didn't even know. They didn't know that I was acquitted. They thought it said withdrawn. So I was confused then. When I went home with the paperwork, I took a screenshot of the paperwork. Luckily, the kid let me do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. That's when I started to review it all. And I was like, wow, they falsified my dispositions, which can be used for an appeal issue for my trial. Like that actually should exonerate me completely for my first trial. Like the corruption of that's tampering with evidence. That's some significant tampering of the evidence right there. And my goal is to get these guys.
So do you have any dates, Lance, in the future?
Yeah.
Set?
Yeah. So
what's your next date?
So I talked to my new appeal attorney. The other one was Olga Stanford. And I looked at her Facebook. She literally wrote on Facebook once in 2019, like, all my fellow Dems, get your asses to the poll and let's get Trump. Let this Trump crisis happen again. Like she's literally saying like F-bombs on her Facebook. And that's another reason I was like, yeah, not to mention that she sucks at her job. So all those dispositions I told her that. And she said they're able to do that under RCM 307 or whatever, or 317, which is no evidence findings. And I was like, hell no. And that's when I called another civilian attorney at King Law. I forgot his name. Don King is his name. And he told me, absolutely not. They can't do that. Are you joking? So like, that's when I was like, yeah. So I terminated my team. I got new civilian counsel within 2 weeks. His name's Fredericks. I forgot his first name.
This guy? Do you know this guy, by the way? Do you know this guy?
Oh, I called him out once on his narcissism, and he posted on IG all of my open scores to show that he was fitter than me. Okay, that was a long time ago. If I did do that, that sounds like something I would do way back then. But I don't know. I don't remember. I was really big into the open, and I think he was, I don't know, cheating or whatnot.
He's referencing someone else.
Oh,
sorry.
Jason Barkmeyer. Wait. Jason Barkmeyer? No, that's his brother, I think. Okay, I don't know. But I do know.
Okay,
him.
Lance, I'm so curious. I'm so curious how this is going to end up. Right. But the best outcome is for you is that this gets to see the light of day. You get your 2 years back pay and you get to retire.
Not just that. I want charges filed on these guys for accountability, right? Court-martial. And then their trial to be like to be not broadcasted, I guess, but to be followed on Facebook. There's a huge page, Airman NCO, whatever it's called, page that like shows all that stuff. Like, man, this is some corruption. And then I want this to be a case study, for future freaking squadrons and future bases.
Well, I really hope you get some peace and freedom from this. It's obvious you're very passionate about it and you have it detailed. The one bit of feedback I'm going to give you is there's so many details that it's going to be so hard for anyone to follow. And we live in a society with not very intelligent people. And so you're going to have to figure out a way to condense this to just the relevant shit that's, you know what I mean? That's going to get your point across. The biggest bomb would be the entry of judgment. I'll send that to you also if needed, of where it shows I was charged with disrespect. And then, the full acquittal, like from a judge, a military judge, that shows right off the bat there's something fishy here. That's it. Like I would think, well, and then and then I was charged with disrespect to the Ike and Abdulwali, like I told you, of which the judge found me not disrespectful to them though, due to him not being in the execution of his office, and then AWOL, like you said, and disobeying the order to not to not post on social media, all this crap, of which I did back then. Like phase 2. Oh man, that's crazy. I can't believe how long it's been already, but I appreciate it for sure. Yeah, I really appreciate you going through this. I know it's a lot, and I'm very curious how this plays out.
Yeah. Are we like live right now? Is people watching?
Yeah, it's live. So those
Or
are the those are the
cool.
those are the people in the comments just chiming in.
And whatever Hunter said, I have no beef with him. Like I actually remember him being cool, but I do remember being passionate about the open back then. And I don't know, maybe I could have been a little headstrong. I took that crap seriously. And his brother Jason, he's a major lieutenant colonel, probably in the Air Force now. Good people, dude. Nothing bad to say about them. Like, I like those guys a lot. So yeah, it's fine. That's fine. If you think I'm a
All right,
narcissist
brother.
from the open, yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Living through all of that again is got to be something else. Telling the whole story again.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate you helping so much, Savon and Mr. Beaver. I don't know your rank. Apologize, but yeah, man. Thank you so much for any help too. That's great.
All right, brother. Thank you. So, do you have? You said you have a GoFundMe page.
Yeah, it's a Lance Castle 490 is my X account, Instagram account, and YouTube. And yeah, I have a GiveSend on that as well as a link, which is doing really well right now, actually. So yeah, those are. Thank you for asking that. I forgot.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right.
All right. Cheers. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow. I think I got 80% of it.
Yeah.
Damn, that is he's just getting ground up by the machine. And I wonder at what point, like, you just I don't want to say take the L, but there's stories like that, you know, with all sorts of people getting fucked up, like by insurance companies and shit. And at some point, you just got to be like, okay, I'm not putting any more energy into this.
Yep, 100%.
And it's probably a hard pill to swallow. Were you going to show me something from this?
Yeah, this video has been circulating on like all of the mill pages for years, at least since it came out. It's like this little section right here. It's just really funny because he's been recording all of his interactions with his command and leadership and all that shit. But this is after one of his interviews or conversations or something.
This is the Churchill guy he was talking about, right?
Yeah,
Stuart
this is
Churchill?
the Churchill guy. Yeah.
Okay.
He's just standing there. He's recording the commander, and they had just finished up telling him like what's up.
Is this where he points the camera at himself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just pans around to, let me see if I can skip. He pans around to all the other people in the room. I can't remember how far back I went. But.
I saw that a few times. I didn't know what I was watching. I was like, wow, this is some crazy. This must have been crazy.
Yeah, here we go.
No one in that room wants to be there.
No, dude. Yeah, look at that little airman over there. This is my commander. Here's my shirt, and then here's me. So like this is like an iconic video. It's pretty funny.
Okay, so you'd heard of you'd seen this. Everyone in the Air Force has seen this?
Yeah, we're all pretty aware of who Lance Castle is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is the details that he has in his brain seem like they're all consuming.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many people that I know who were able to get religious exemptions or administratively take care of not getting the vaccine, or they did not have any, there was no friction involved in the vaccine. It was just, hey, I don't want to take it. Okay, cool. See you later. But so this is like a very unique story. I think he's also, I think he's probably in the headspace. He was once like a pararescue washout. And so he had gone through a bit of that pipeline and didn't make it, but like he's still wearing his like the badges that he would have earned through that pipeline, and you're not really supposed to do that. So I think that's a friction point for a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
And so, I mean, you just, if you're somebody who's not in special ops, like if you didn't make it, you should be stripped of all of that. Like I think generally they do that if you don't make it. So I don't know. I think there are a lot of friction points with him that rub people the wrong way.
Lance clearly beats to his own drummer. He's very unique.
Mhm.
What sucks is that they just didn't went with the vaccine thing, that they didn't leave him alone.
Well, I think he was probably very vocal in his opposition.
Oh, like he even said on the
Like,
show,
he
like he was telling other people, don't get it, don't get it.
he's very vocal in his opposition, and that's fine. Do that thing, but I
There's
mean,
consequences.
eventually, yeah, you start to get some consequences for that, and then you become more vocal about it, and then you have to go through numerous commanders and numerous leadership changes, and they all have to deal with the same thing. And eventually, people are just fed up with dealing with this thing. Everybody, if you make a name for yourself in the Air Force and you're a E4 or E5,
That's not good.
it's not good, man. Like, it's not a you're not a go getter. You're not trying to benefit anybody. You're trying to cause friction.
Whether you're in the right or the wrong, creating friction in that environment is not going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you're in the military. We all have to do shit we don't want to do. You sign the paperwork.
And
You
he,
picked up the
and
job.
he opened the show basically saying like, hey, that's part of his character, that he doesn't like to do stuff that he doesn't want to do. And so maybe the military wasn't for him in the beginning.
Never. No, it definitely wasn't. And I imagine he probably joined thinking, oh, I'm going to be some bad fucking operator type, and I don't have to beat to anybody's drum but my own because I'm just going to be a bad operator type. And then he didn't make it. And then you go to Big Blue, and Big Blue doesn't fuck around like that.
What's Big Blue?
Like Big Blue Air Force, like the general, like special operations is its own thing. They're like the little, whatever you want to call it. But Big Blue is, you're a log dog, you're a logistics guy. All you do is sign paperwork, inventory stuff, and go on about your day. And they don't give a shit about anything else but you doing your job. And if you don't do your job, you spend a bunch of time doing a bunch of dumb shit, they don't care, man.
Yeah, it sounds like the last 4 or 5 years, he has either been in surgeries or in jail or leave, and that's what the timeline felt like.
And honestly, it's like, how do you even keep that straight? Somebody you're in a remote, they send you to another work site to work, and now you have to deal with a completely different set of leadership. And so that set of leadership has to understand that the previous set of leadership said that you could work from 9 to 1 every day.
Yeah.
And then also you have to coordinate with your healthcare provider, and that healthcare provider doesn't know your schedule, and they're just trying to get you on the books so that they can see you and make sure that you're not going to kill yourself.
I know I was having a little bit of sympathy for the leadership around him, because it's like they have a million things to do every day that are relevant to moving the machine forward. And then to have to deal with it, basically he's been he's one giant HR situation for 5 years.
100%.
Can't the military, why didn't the military just, do they have cut their losses and just give them like some sort of retirement? Because they have to, if they do it for one guy, then who knows how many people will start taking that route.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's so low on the totem pole. They're not going to pay him out. They're not going to give him retirement. What they really should do is just give him a general discharge and get him out of there. But the problem is that he's caused such an issue that he's just going to fight that until that's what he's doing right now, is fighting his discharge, I think.
Right. That's what it felt like.
Because what happens is, if you get an other than honorable discharge, you don't get any benefits. And because he's been in for 20 years, he believes that he's owed those benefits. And so he's just going to keep fighting until he gets them.
The military is 10% of the people or 90% of the problem. Yeah, that's like everyday life.
Yep. I mean, I had a troop when I worked in the clinic, and
hey, do you think that he'd be in this? Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
I had a troop that when I used to work in the hospital, she would show up late. She'd be falling asleep at her desk. She wouldn't be seeing patients on time, and eventually, we tried to start writing paperwork for her. But then the doc that she worked for would defend her. But little did her doc know that she was working as a stripper at the local strip club every night.
Oh, shit.
And everybody else knew that but her. But they're like, oh, it's just a mental health thing. So you have people like that who try to back up people like who are causing the problem here.
You know what's interesting is I watched 4 podcasts he'd been on, I think it was 4. And I still couldn't figure out his situation.
Right.
So I was hoping I could bring him on here and keep him on track so he could tell his story.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think I was very successful.
I think he needs to, you're right. He needs to condense it to like
just a 30-minute version. Like, I know he
Yeah.
wants to tell us that Jessica Bowman was here and there, but it's like,
Yeah.
hey, dude,
and this
no,
Vasquez guy and this TTM, and I had a TTM here, and like,
yeah.
and
No, I didn't think I could fix him. You know what I did? I was blaming the other podcast host. I was like, man, they're not doing a very good job of keeping him on track.
Right. And I don't think he's done himself any favors, because I think he's doing a lot of, like, I can't remember the exact term for it, but it's like self defense. Like, it's like when you go to your buddy who knows something about law, and you have him write you a rebuttal. Like, you're like, oh, I'm just going to do this myself. I know a guy who I trust. He can write something. Like, you're not going to an attorney. I understand you don't want to pay for it. And now all this, like, if you would have started that from the beginning, maybe he could have built a rapport with his ADC and been able to, like, actually his attorney, his military attorney, to actually come up with something to help. But because he started, thank you, Barrick's lawyer, Ortega. Like, because he started trying to do everything on his own, he fucked himself. Like, I understand you don't want to, like, the military is not very trustworthy when you're a cog in the wheel.
Yeah.
But dude, you got to give people a chance.
Yeah.
But Grok Pro is sleeping more well. Yeah, exactly.
I feel for him in that situation. My final analysis would be like, hey, dude, you got to figure out a way to get out of this. I had a friend who owned a building, and their tenant sued them for something
Okay.
that they didn't do. And when it was a $20,000, the tenant wanted $20,000 and they would leave. And the rent at it was 2 months rent. The rent at the place was $10,000 a month.
Whoa.
And so this person's like, fuck you. I'm not doing that. And so then the tenant then reported to the city that this landowner had changed a massive skylight in the building that wasn't up to code, just to fuck them. And that cost that tenant $100,000, that owner. So now you could have paid this person $20,000 and you said, fuck you. And then they hired a lawyer and sued the landlord for retrofitting the building during business hours that lost this person money. This case ballooned to like $600,000 in attorney's fees and lasted 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
This landlord, starting to sound like this guy. This landlord had an insurance company that was paying the legal fees. And then finally the insurance company ended up also suing the landlord, saying, "Oh, you have to pay for these legal fees." Anyway, the whole thing fucking ended up costing this landlord 5 years of his life and like $400,000.
Yeah.
When all he had to do, whether it was right or wrong, was pay the 20 grand and get that guy out.
100%.
And like, you have to, like, my whole thing with Lance was, I was thinking to him, the whole time, you've reached a point where it's your life, and is that going to cost you? Are you? And that's the most valuable thing you have, and are you wasting it?
Right.
Like, shouldn't you be at home, like, loving on your kids and moved on to the next thing? Get it? Like, you know what I mean? But man, he is in deep. He is in deep.
Right. I understand. I mean, I would imagine there were numerous.
And I'm proud of him that he stood and didn't take the vaccine. Like, that's my, like,
for
I'm
sure,
super proud of him. Yeah,
for sure. But there's a tipping point, like you're saying. Like, eventually you just say, okay, fine. I'm not, like, I don't want to take the vaccine, but you're going to have to kick me out of the military, because now he's wasted all of this time. And, like, honestly, dude, a military retirement, any sort of like, fuck it, man. Nobody cares. It's not that awesome. Like, just, you can find another job doing something else that gives you the same benefits. and you're going to be happier, and they're not going to force you to do some bullshit that you don't want to do. Or better yet, start your own fucking business, dog. If you think you can run stuff better on your own, find something that you super enjoy and do that yourself.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's your life. He has so much going on upstairs. I was very much like that in the hospital from 2020 to 2022. I had to learn you don't win people over by beating them. Yeah.
Right. And then what do you think you're going to gain by saying, I'm going to fuck all of my leadership over. I'm going to sue them into oblivion and they're going to pay. What do you get from that?
Yeah. Diminishing returns.
Right.
And yeah. All right. Tonight we're doing CrossFit Games update show.
Oh yeah, that is tonight, huh?
I fucked us. I scheduled it at the same time as the Netflix fight.
Oh.
Jake Paul and
we'll just have it on in the background. Fuck it.
Joshua.
Damn. Yeah, if you go on Reddit or you go on that Airman NCO Senior NCO page, like every week there's something about this Lance Castle guy. It's kind of
oh shit! Wow. Yo.
Hey, what's up? It's Matthew.
Hey, Matthew.
You're gonna kill Taylor tomorrow, right?
Yeah, $6,000. Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Oh, it is tomorrow.
I have an idea. You don't have to go through with it, but if Taylor beats Victor Hoffer's time,
when he does,
yes. If somebody calls in and beats Taylor's time, I'll put up $500.
Oh, wow. The thing is, that's very generous of you. The thing is, tomorrow is a crazy schedule because I have to head over to CrossFit Livermore like at 6 a.m.
All right, never mind.
And then I have a jump rope, and then the kids are doing a jump roping seminar at 8:30.
Livermore.
Yeah, in Livermore.
Yeah.
From 8:30 to 10:30.
All right, never mind then.
All right, thank you. Hey, do you know that guy, Lance Castle? Did you serve with him?
No, I was in the Army.
Okay.
All right. Good talk.
All right,
Okay.
thank you, brother.
Love you. Bye.
Man,
Yeah, love you. Bye.
you're the best. All right, guys.
Wait, I just
Dude,
came
I've
on
been-
the show. I just came on the show.
I know, but I've been on for 3 hours.
McKenna's supposed to be here right now.
No, I don't know why that mic's. Yeah, try now.
Hello?
Yeah, people can.
Hello? I'm back.
You're back.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, what do you have to say, Mr. President?
We are no longer using the penny.
Oh,
That sucks.
what happened to the penny?
It got eliminated. It got eliminated, correct. And I think it cost more to make them than it was actually worth.
Mm.
Yes.
There's 2 Trumps.
Yes. Yes.
I think you need to do the hand shit.
Hello?
I think
But
that-
what's the point of that when nobody can see me?
They can see you.
How? Do I have to wear the wig?
Do I
Yes,
have
you
to
got
wear
it.
the wig? Are you
Bro.
Trump or not?
It's not even that good.
The wig?
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness, I don't like the wig anymore.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Taylor, for giving me my accent.
We will see you tonight at 5 p.m.
Bye-bye.
And also Taylor, if you watch all these videos, episode
That sucks. That's why really get into it. Really get if you're gonna come on.
episode 12.
You're not.
Taylor,
Even,
if you're
that's. I hear
watching that,
Ari talking right now. I don't
you-
hear Trump.
You really?
Really?
Savvy, be quiet. You don't know anything.
All right, go on.
Taylor, if you're watching all these videos and you look on episode
Hi.
12,
This is neuter Trump, low T Trump.
And if you see him doing, that's your fault, okay? That's absolutely your fault.
Your Trump is not as good as it used to be.
I wasn't practicing.
All right, that one was better.
Me either. I wasn't practicing a lot.
All right.
It's more of the Indian voice now.